part of any training process with me and part of any growth with me personally, my goal is always, it's greater than just what's on the surface or what it looks like I'm trying to chase, right? So we're talking automotive, we're talking car business, we're talking chasing gross commissions, we're talking about selling more cars, and we really are. But the reality is it's hard to really achieve those things if we don't become the person we need to become as far as the foundation. Does that make sense? And again, this is no news, no new information. It's not unlike anything you've probably heard. So some of you guys may be faith-based people. Some people believe in a higher power. Some people believe in a consciousness. Some people believe in universal principles. Again, whatever you believe in has got to be greater than yourself. And I want to read you something real quick, and then we'll get right to it. It says, "Come to me with all your gaping emptiness." I want you to think about that word for a minute as I read. Emptiness, all your emptiness, knowing that in me you are complete. As you rest quietly in my presence, my light within you grows brighter and brighter. Facing the emptiness inside you is simply the prelude to being filled with the fullness of you. Therefore, rejoice in those days when you drag yourself out of bed, feeling sluggish and inadequate. Y'all ever felt that way? Drag yourself out of bed? I got a story for you this morning. That's what happened to me. Okay? But when you drag yourself and you feel inadequate, tell yourself, this is the perfect day to depend on me in that childlike trust. Again, childlike. You know, men grow up, right? And we still have childish ways, right? I have some childish ways I'm still fighting through, right? That's the whole thing. But one thing is for certain. When you look at a child or you look at a young person, what do you see? You see energy, you see life, you see spirit, you see love, right? You see genuine, authentic, and that's really what, as an adult, that shit gets beat out of you, right? So you start to mask and cover up and hide and floss and act like things aren't what that all we do is prolong what we're really looking for. Right? So I think there's some value there. But in the end, you'll discover that joy and peace will become your companion as you retire at night. Joy and peace. I think joy and peace. I can tell you as an automotive dealer, right? Somebody in the pinnacle of our industry, you've owned a car dealership or two or three or whatever the case may be, and there are people that are way more successful than me in the automotive space. I'm pretty proud of what I've accomplished over my years, right? But I can't tell you that I honestly had peace and joy. And you would think one that has resources or whatever the case may be, you would have this joy. Now, there were joyful moments, right? I remember when I sold my Toyota contract, when I went with Southeast Toyota and I signed the deal, right? And I'm 35. Man, I was excited. I mean, because I had put all this effort since I was a 20-year-old kid. I was excited. This is what I wanted. And the crazy part about it was, when I did the deal, I signed the deal. I was over in Starbucks with Jim McCackern. Jim, if you're watching with SET, he's the vice president right now of sales. Hey, I signed a contract, had a cup of coffee with him. We talked about it. And guess what? I walked back across the street in Millersville, Georgia, got back in my dealership, and it was like nothing ever happened. I never smelled any roses. Right? There was no sense of appreciation of what actually just happened, right? As a 49-year-old looking back at a 35-year-old accomplishing what God had blessed me with that I was fortunate to get, man, I look back and go, man, I've just glossed right over that, right? So again, these are some of the things that I think are important is the first hour or so. I got a lot of stuff to cover with you guys rapid fire, but I don't want to cover it so fast we don't get something out of it, because I don't want to waste anybody's time, during this training time. So the first hour and a half, we're going to talk about a foundation, some things that I think are going to be important to you. So I ask you guys open-minded? Yeah. Right. If you're open-minded, right, you're open to hear some new possibilities. So again, today, my genuine focus is I want to teach you automotive. I want you to leave here with some things you've never heard. Some word tracks you've never actually heard, right? And we've got a general manager with us, been in the business 25 years. I'm hoping he leaves. You know what? I heard something I'd never heard before. That's a win. That's a big win, right? Sales guys as well. But what I'm focused on is some behavioral changes. And I think I'm passionate about behavioral changes, quite frankly, because I got so much behavior I'm constantly working on, right? And I've made some progress in some areas and still stagnant in some others. You guys tracking? And you may feel the same way. So our goal is to expand and grow and get better, right? Expansion, not perfection, right? Easy to beat yourself up. Go right back into a little hole again, right? So I want to talk about behavioral changes, and I think it's important that you realize the behaviors won't change until your beliefs change. Write that down. Write that down. There's a notes page in there. Your behaviors won't change until your beliefs change. Until you believe it, it's not going to change. That is my experience. Had to stop drinking, the change I needed to make. But I didn't believe I needed to, so I kept drinking until I believed that I needed to stop drinking. You tracking? Till your beliefs change, the behaviors typically won't change. So again, today's objectives, I want to get you uncomfortable. How do I get you uncomfortable? Does that get you in front of the room? Does that mean I got some hot coals like Tony Robbins? We're going to walk fire? Could. I've walked fire before. Y'all ever walk fire? It's pretty freaky. It's uncomfortable. I can promise you that. But it can be done. That's a fact. No, but I want to get you uncomfortable. What I mean by that is I want you thinking about what makes you uncomfortable, right? I want you to take time. We're going to ask a question, write it down. I'm going to say, write this down, write that down. What's got you here? Again, you're going through that process, getting uncomfortable. A great example. Wendy and I, actually, we were in, this is her note to me a few days ago. And this was November 9th, right? November 9th, I believe it was, 7th, 8th, 9th. We were in New York. We were walking through Central Park. And I got an event company, advertising, promotion, event company, consulting company. Training is what I love. This is what I love to do more than anything on the planet, right? Love people, encourage people, inspire people. She knows that. And in the conversation, it was like, she was like, I don't want to hear the bullshit no more and the excuses. Let's do a training. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. And I'm like, what do you mean when? She goes, pick a date. Now we're walking in the park. This is November 9th. I'm thinking about my events I got going on, and do I have an event? And so we arrive on December 17th. You think I was a little uncomfortable? Can I teach, train, motivate, inspire, and encourage? 100%. No doubt in my mind, with the best of them. Have I ever put one on to the extent of like actually, bringing us a bunch of people together? It was less than 30 days, and nothing was there till something appeared here. And you guys have the same opportunity every single day in the dealership, right? In your personal life, right? In the store. And I'm going to show you some ways throughout the day how you can actually take the filter that you see your world through, and you can make the alterations. You can make those changes. But I had to take some action, right? So we're talking about getting uncomfortable today. We're talking about taking some action. I want you to leave here today with not only like, man, that was pretty good. No, we're not going to talk pretty good. We're going to actually go do something. We're going to take what we learned. We're going to go do something. And it's going to make you uncomfortable because you don't know how to do what I'm going to share with you to do until you learn it, right? Because competence creates confidence. Once you're competent in something, I give you a close. Sales manager says, hey man, go find out what the guy's willing to do. You go back to the customers, hey man, let me ask you a question. What's it going to take to earn your business? How many are confident with that statement to a customer? Pretty easy, right? It's what you've been told to do. It's what you've been taught to do, right? But if a sales manager says, go out there and close this guy, make all the money, keep all the gross, don't move it, and go give him the depreciation close. And if he doesn't work with that, hit him with the warranty close. If he doesn't close on that, then I need you to take him to Edmunds True Car Now and show him exactly what the value is going to be 5 years. And by the way, show him fueleconomy.gov. Make sure he understands the MPGs he's saving. You got me? Go close that deal. Don't come back with no less money. Y'all be like, what? Because most managers in car dealership don't teach closes. They teach commitments. Give me a commitment. Give me a check. What's he willing to do today? What's it going to take right now? Most managers don't teach people how to close. And we'll talk about that. So again, we're going to change the way you think. I'm going to help hopefully inspire the way you're thinking and alter it, change it. Just boop, just a little bit. Because if you think about, look, if we're 10% off, right? If we're 10% off in a year period, we 30. To the good or to the bad. So we just got to alter some of the thinking. And then we want to master the craft, right? And for me, that's taking personal responsibility. So let me tell you a story of personal responsibility. And I want to relate this back to the car business. And then we're going to get into it. So this morning, I get up. It's 7:43. When he says, did you take care of the spiral binders? And did you print off your Zoom call? I'm just getting up, just getting going. Kind of had in my mind what I was going to do. But I'm getting ready to do a training for the day. You think I'd have probably been up at 6 a.m. You think, right? So I'm on my way over. She comes over. So she's obviously aggravated because whose event is it? Is it Wendy's event or Louie's event? It's mine. It's my event. So she starts doing what she already asked me to do. So I get pissy. I'm starting to feel uncomfortable. Actually, what I was feeling internally is how she came at me. I felt rejected. That comes from something deeper. Had nothing to do with her. So I snap. Totally in the wrong. I'm snapping. She's trying to help me with my event, and I'm snapping at her. That sound familiar? You ever done something like that? Yeah, that's not taking any kind of responsibility to myself, right? So I had a couple of thoughts. This is game day for me. Game day. It's training day. And in that moment, I was pissed, hurt, pissed, and she was too. And I'm like, damn, I need my baby. I need my baby ready. Like I need it right. Like we on this thing. Like you know what I'm saying? So I had a choice to make, right? So I sent her a text. Should have called. Sent her a text. Hey, I apologize for snapping. Okay, that's part of taking some responsibility. But the damage was already done, right? The apology after you black my eye. I mean, I appreciated my eye's black, right? So it ain't gonna make that big of a difference. But at least you take some steps to at least gain some acknowledgement of what went down. And then I took a bike ride. Got to clear my thought, man. I easily could have been like, you know what, forget it. I ain't gonna ride no bike. It's game day. So my point to you is simply this. We want to talk about taking some responsibility because there are days you get up sluggish, like the word said. You get up sluggish, don't want to tackle the day. You've already got some stuff going on in your life, personally, internally, health-wise, family-wise, grandmama, whomever. You got something going on, right? You got to slow it down and still take that personal responsibility. All right, so real quick, here's what we're going to cover through this whole deal, just so we're on the same page. Go to your next page. You should, you don't have that content next. Just keep up with me. So first thing we're going to talk about is getting unstuck. There's something that I think's got a massive value. Have y'all ever felt stuck? You can't move. You're not motivated. You're not inspired to kind of go to another level. But you know you got the talent, but it's like Groundhog Day. It's that karmic cul-de-sac of the same shit. Karmic cul-de-sac. Bitching that it ain't getting better, but we ain't doing nothing better. That's getting stuck, right? So you got to get unstuck. So I want to cover that with. I think it's important. Distractions versus focus. I think there's some in the car world, in the mortgage world, the real estate world, the insurance world, the financial services world. Anybody selling anything is going to deal with some stuff, right? And distractions are there versus the focus we need to have. I think we need to cover that. Once we're done with that, then we're going to talk the car business. Is that fair enough? Because I think if we don't just kind of go over the overview of being uncomfortable and what that discomfort looks like, talk about some distractions, and all I want to do is give you some thought starters and ask you some questions and ask you to write down in your books, how's that affecting you? Fair enough? That's all we're going to do, and then we're going to hit it. We're going to talk about the law of 7. I was at Bootsy's store last 2 weekends ago, went over it, but I'm going to go over it a little bit deeper. And if you can get the law of 7 and even Bootsy, even from a management perspective, man, this is a home run. The law of 7, in my mind, can teach a salesperson how to sell 40 cars a month as a starting point. And just so you know, pre-COVID, after COVID, during COVID, I can tell you salespeople that sell 75 to 80 cars a month making $750,000, $800,000 a year. Facts. Ed Morris, Cadillac, 4 horsemen, 4 guys to start. Okay, so it's possible. And so I ask you the question as well. If somebody can make $600,000 a year, $700,000 a year selling cars, if somebody can do that, is it possible? It is, right? If there's somebody in the marketplace selling 65, 75, 80, 100 cars a month, is it possible that you could do that? And if he happens to be man, maybe he's female, but do they not put on the clothes the same way you do? Do they have some kind of Superman power that God gave them that he didn't give you? No. We're all the same, right? We all have the same opportunity in what we do with that. So we want to cover the law of 7, how to sell 40 cars a month. I also want to give you the law of separation. Boots, I think you'll like this. You're the only general manager in the room today, but the law of separation for anybody in the room that wants to sell cars, but maybe get an F&I, maybe be a sales manager, GSM, maybe you're a GM and you want to buy a store, maybe you want to partner with a store. This right here is the singular one thing. And in the copy of my book, you'll read about it, okay? What I'm saying, when you read it, you'll be like, oh, you'll hear my words off the page. But it'll show you, because here's the thing. Without growth, we need to keep growing. Part of, especially, I can't speak for women, but for men, since there's men in the room, part of a man's deal is we got to know we're going somewhere. Wouldn't you agree? Like, we can't be like in this funk of like uncertainty, right? And I'm confident there's many women the same exact way, but I know for a man, we've got to know where we're going. So my point is if you're in the car business, and you're going to do this business 60 hours a week. Your family's going to sacrifice, right? And you're not going to try to be the best you can be. Like, you wouldn't say to yourself, I'm going to try, I want to be the general manager one day of something, or maybe your GM, I'm going to own something. I mean, why? And let me just say one other thing. And maybe it's just me, but I was fortunate from selling cars as a 20-year-old kid to get to own a few car dealerships, and it ain't all what you think it is when you get there, okay? It ain't all what you think it is when you ever bought a new car? Boy, you love that damn new car at the beginning, don't you? Man, after a month, it's just a car. I am embarrassed to tell you that when I got there, what do you think I wanted more of? More of what? I wanted more. It's never enough. I want more. So there's a drive that you got to have, right, in a place you want to go, but there's also a balance of understanding what you may leave in your wake. And I got plenty of horror stories of what I left in my wake of life. Law of separation, that's what I'm going to cover. We're also going to talk about selling cars out of the service department. Manager wants you to go sell cars out of the service department, but don't want to give you he don't want to teach you. He don't want to show you how. You know, so I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a bona fide way. Now, I'm so confident what I'm going to teach you works. Like literally, I wish I had an RO with us and I put on speakerphone and I'd make you 4 or 5 calls right here. That's how confident. And can you want to take a guess how old what I'm about to tell you is? 1997. I just changed a few words. Process is still the same. And I'm going to show you how I got there with that as well. Okay, I want to talk briefly about using AI, how you can sell cars with AI. You guys familiar with AI? Chat GBT? Y'all ever heard of it? I've heard of it. Never heard of it? Okay, it's just another tool. It's just another tool. We'll just touch that. Social media. This is going to be a bulk. This is a home run ball for you, okay? For everybody here. What I'm going to cover with you is what I had to do when I owned my Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram dealership in Madison, Georgia. I had no choice because I had no money to spend promoting and marketing the dealership. Okay? Lean funds. So I had to teach myself social media to drive leads, manage cost per leads, KPIs, figure out how many I was selling, what the close percentage was, and I'm going to give all that to you guys. It's going to be a lot. I'm going to give you my marketing philosophy, what I was thinking, what I think you should think. I'm going to tell you exactly what I did as far as an advertising campaign that I can do in the marketplace that I always kept close to my chest, just in case I was a dealer again. I didn't want everybody to have my stuff. Boots, you know how that is, right? Yeah. You can't have all my, but I ain't a dealer anymore. So I'm going to give you my stuff. Social media is going to be a big piece. And then the fun part is going to be the closing techniques, right? We're going to get into some closing. So we get some role play. We are going to cover the sales process. Not going to spend a whole bunch of time. We're going to talk a little about meet and greet. We're talking about the needs assessment. We're talking about the write-up. Those are the 3 things. I ain't getting into demo presentation, hot and heavy, but I want to cover those 3 because there's pieces that I want you to learn from that as well. Y'all with me? Let's talk about discomfort. Embracing discomfort. This training is designed for 2024. We are now December 17th of 2023. So here's what I need you to do. You need to finish out this year, but I need you to start strategizing and planning, right? So let's talk about some discomfort. This should be in your notebook, okay? Just go where it says Embracing Discomfort 2024. The first thing we got to do is we got to acknowledge the comfort zone. And what I mean by that is we just have to accept and understand that when we acknowledge that we have comfort zones, those are the boundaries and the limited limitations that we put on ourselves. Right? So you got to be aware of that. You got to be aware and also be aware when you realize you're stepping in that zone that's kind of uncomfortable. And that's where you got to push yourself. I think you got to take some small steps, but greater than taking small steps is having some consistency. Again, you will hear me throughout this whole training. Okay? It's not me trying to self-deprecate, but I'm not the type of guy that's going to sit here and tell you how great and how awesome I am and what I've achieved, because I've got way more failures than I have successes in my life. Way more. And if you believe it or not, the people that you see scrolling on YouTube and the big name, I promise you they got way more failures as well. Right? They may not admit them. I think in the spirit of authenticity and trying to help others grow, helps you understand when I can tell you, hey, I fucked up too. Here's what I did. This was the worst thing I should have done. Right? And so I need you to understand when we're talking about consistency, I just challenged myself. No, I didn't. I ain't even gonna lie. I bring up Wendy all the time. I love her to death. We're having a conversation. I said, we get into the gym and, working out. But she goes, you ain't been in the gym as much as, how many times do you think? I said, man, 3 months, we've been in it like strong. She's like, whatever. We have a running joke that literally whatever I tell her is double. I've been in there 20 times, 20, 30 times. Mm-hmm. That means you've been in there 10, like literally. And she's right. So I go to Planet Fitness yesterday. What do you think I do? I go to the lady and say, let me ask you a question. Can you look up how many times I've been here? Go back September, October, November, and this month. 33% of the time in the last 3 months I've been in the gym in a 30-day month. 33% of the time. In fact, in December, I was day number 9 of 16 yesterday. So I'm on track for, I could possibly keep, if I can maintain 50, 60%. But look, you can't win a championship with C players. You got to have A players, right? A players don't perform in a C job. That's a C job. And I'm talking about health and wellness and fitness for you guys and right? So we're all in the same camp trying to get better, trying to grow, right? Trying to get better. We got to be consistent. Mindset. I'll give you an example of mindset. Taurus. Can you sell 20 cars a month? I can't hear you.
Yes, sir.
You can. Taurus, can you sell 60 cars a month?
Yes, sir. I put my mind to it, yes, sir.
If you put your mind to it. But can you sell it?
Yes, sir.
Taurus, can you sell 100 cars a month?
Yes, sir. I don't see why not.
You don't see why not? Okay. At a certain number, Taurus, can you sell 200 a month? At a certain point, you're going to hear his mindset. Now, he's answering good right now. I say, yeah, sure. And that's okay. My point is, let's go back to me, right? Authenticity. Can I make $1 million a year? 100%. Can I make $2 million a year? Yes, I can. Can I make $20 million? Bullshit. I mean, I can't, I don't know if I'm going to, but see the mindset? There's a problem. I'm not saying there's a problem because I think 20 million is a lot, or it doesn't matter what numbers we're talking. You tracking? I don't want you to focus on that. What I want you to focus on is the mindset. Mindset, skill sets, habits. You want to be successful? Write that down. Write that down. Mindsets, skill sets, habits. Mindset, skill sets, habits. I didn't come up with that. Brad Lee did. You know who Brad Lee is? If you don't, look him up. Brad Lee, give him credit. He's probably watching. LEA, actually pretty good. Owns Lightspeed. Used to be a general manager years ago. Mindset, skill set, habits. Mindset, skill sets, habit. That's the key. That's the key of us getting to the next level. I think it's important to practice some mindfulness and reflection. Okay? It's in your book. Practice mindfulness and reflection. Why would I tell you that? Why do you think I would say something like that? Mindfulness and reflection. Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because I lived most of my life, I'm 49. I lived 45 years with no mindfulness, very little reflection. Told you I signed that deal with Toyota, SET. Big deal, man. Youngest dealer in SET at the time, right? Daddy was a roofer, not in the car business. This is a big deal, right? There's no reflection on that. There's no mindfulness along the way when I was having issues that I was blaming other people on, right? I don't know if you're good at this, but I'll blame somebody else. Really, the issue's me. Well, that takes reflection. That takes self-awareness. They say statistically, the percentage, if you look it up, 85% of the population is unaware. They're unaware. In other words, what that means is they believe that the outside circumstances dictate what they're experiencing in life. Does that make sense? So you may know people like that. You may be one of those people where you feel like if COVID wasn't going on, or if this wasn't going on, now we go back to mindset. Because you believe that what's going on is affecting you. And it's not my job to tell you it is or it isn't. Right? But we all have people that influence in that way. Again, talking about discomfort for growth. Feedback, seeking feedback. It's a tough one. Right? Embrace the feedback. Right? Write this down. Write down ego. Note section. Ego. Ego. Feedback. Proximity. So one of the things that I have not done a good job of since I've been an entrepreneur, not in the car business directly with my automotive stores that I've operated. When I had stores, I was better at this. Proximity. The people you're with, you hang around, and I don't mean people you hang with daily. I'm talking about if you want to be successful, in business. You come here to listen to me because hopefully you're getting some of my knowledge or what I did or didn't do or should do or could do, and I transfer it to you that you can apply it in your life and move on down the road and make a few more dollars, right? It's proximity. Today you have proximity to me. When you leave here today, you may say to yourself, shit, I need the video series, Sales CEO, what's your podcast again? I got to hear you once a week, man, because you may not, right? Because you need that proximity. You catch the fire, the intensity, the emotion, you feel it, you resonate, we're on the same page, we jihad good, whatever the case may be, right? Some other people you may not. The key is proximity. I got to be in proximity with some people that are better than Louie, and there's a lot. Why? So I can learn and grow. I don't know everything. I know little niches of little things, and I need to get better, right? So again, you got to embrace the people that can support you, and the feedback, obviously, and the next one was your support system, and that's what I was talking about with proximity. So again, this is embracing discomfort for 2024, and let's talk about real quick the benefits, okay? When you are uncomfortable, you become resilient. Through uncomfortable moments, sometimes you're thrusted into them, you're forced into them, you're pushed into them. And it's like, it's a panic. But once you get to the other side, you can build that resilience. So we need to regularly expose ourselves to be okay with some of the mental challenges that we go through, some physical challenges. And here's the thing, we all go through them all the time. All of us have things going on. Nobody in the room is unique to think or arrogant enough to think that you ain't got no issues. You ain't got no problems. We talked about self-awareness. Accelerating the learning and the learning skills and self-development skills. We're going to talk about that because I think it's important. When I reflect back, I'm sharing with you what I think helped me a lot, and one of the things was called Automobile University. Write that down. Automobile University. Just write that down. Automobile University. What is that? Well, again, that's accelerating my learning and helping me get better, helping me understand my craft and working on my skill development, right? If you didn't write down, please make sure you write down mindsets, skill sets, and habits. You're going to find out that this thing is all about, can my mind conceive and believe and understand? Do I have the mental capacity? Is my container big enough to understand how I can go from here to here, and do I have the skills to do it? If you don't have the skills to do it, we got to work on them. And that's what we're doing. But the first thing we got to do is make sure our mindset's right? When you have this, when you go through this uncomfortable zone and you develop the resilience, what you'll discover, you'll get a massive sense of improved confidence, right? Because you're overcoming some stuff. When your confidence improves, doors open for you. All right, people start to know who you are, hopefully in a positive way, and doors start to open for you. So we're going to talk about taking action. We talked about what it's like to be uncomfortable. We talked about what it's like and how important it is, what are the benefits to overcome that. Now let's talk about taking action. Now, there's a lot of us, hell, I can say me too. All of us want to take action. We want to get better. We want to make more money. We want to, grow our store, grow ourselves individually. We want to get to the next level, right? But there's something inside of us that prevents us from doing that. There's something that even though you've made a decision, I'm going to the gym and I'm doing this damn thing, I'm going to eat the right foods, I'm going to get my health right, and then it don't happen. There's something inside all of us, right? So again, what I want you to recognize is Newton's third law of motion. That should be in your book. Is that in your book? Newton's third law of motion, right? It states every object moves in a straight line until force is applied to it. Force. So everything moves in a straight line until force is applied to it. Force. Force is a powerful word, right? Can you visualize force? Force is strong. Force is like somebody that's like pop, boom, in taking action, you gotta put force. You gotta force yourself and push yourself in a direction with massive force, right? I mean, for anything to change, we must apply force to it. And here's the reason why it's so important. Because what rests in the balance of your lack of force is your body, your being, your balance, your business. Your body, write that down. Write that down, don't forget that. And I'll explain that further. Body, being, balance, business. All B's. Simple acronym. Your body, your being, your balance, your business. Next to those, your body, that's just what it is. It's your vessel. Okay? Your being is your spiritual connection with whoever you're spiritually connected with. Whatever your faith may be, whatever you stand for, something hopefully greater than yourself or within yourself or the light within you. Body, being. Your balance is all your relationships. All of the relationships. Your posterity with your children, significant others, and then your business. Your business obviously is your business. And for sales guys, I would say business is your bank account. How many zeros we got? What we working on? We saving some money? Do we have enough money? If we have saved, are we multiplying money? What are we doing with the money? Do we got money? Right? So when you go back to those 4 areas of your life, your body, your being, your balance, your business, right? This is life. And you break all those down, you're going to have to apply a force if you want to see any change happen in those areas. Force. I mean, fucking force, man. Like force. Like you got to force and go. Go. Most of you that are in the room know who I am, but real quick, I didn't tell you who I was, what my experience has been. Obviously, my name is Louie Herron. Currently own a event advertising, consulting, training company. I've owned 3 dealerships, a couple Toyota stores, one with a partner, one by myself, and a Chrysler dealership. Was dealer principal for 13 years. Had an opportunity to walk the halls as the owner, the big guy, right? Been in the car business almost 30 years. Ran dealerships for probably 23 of the 30 years, 22 of the 30 years. Don't take I call her my wife. Don't take my wife's stuff about saying that's half true. I'm telling you, those are the numbers, okay? Yeah, and so look, I've been in the car business 30 years, but you know, the car business is not necessarily my calling. It's what I know. It's not who I am. It's what I've chosen to do. It's not who I am. I firmly believe if I'd have gotten into real estate, if I'd have gotten into insurance, or I'd have gotten into the financial services or the mortgage business, I think I'd have done probably just as well. I just happened to be 20 and so I figured I'd sell cars and see how that goes, and didn't know much. No one taught me anything and figured it out as I went. Currently know some of the guys that you probably know that you see on Facebook, car guys, you know, the Glenn Lundys and the Grant Cardones and those guys. I mean, I'm familiar with all those guys and know them. Been on some podcasts, authored a book. You got a copy of it in there. You know, so, and again, right now, my company's the Herron Automotive Group. So, again, I think you're in the hands of somebody that I can tell you with 100% certainty. I love you guys because I know what you stand for and what you do every day. I know how hard it is. Okay, I care about you. I want you to grow and develop and get better, right? Because I want to see the fruits of that. And I think I have a little bit of information that can help you grow. I think I got a little content in my head over the years from owning stores and, you know, acquisitions and training salespeople and so forth. So that's who I be. Make sure everybody knows who I am. So I want you to go to a page where you can write something down. Every other page, there's a notes page. So even if you're not on the same page of those notes, don't sweat it. I want you to fill the notes up. Okay? So, question. Why are you here? Why are you here? Are you a hostage? Manager made me come. Did you know me and felt like I'd give it a shot? Did you, whatever the case may be. You think about that question for a minute. Why are you really here? Because I believe there's no accidents or coincidence. I believe by divine appointment we're all sitting in this room today. I believe when the decision was made between Wendy and I on November 9th, I'm going to say, I think that was the time frame, it was divine who was going to be in this room. Divine appointment. Jacoby, God brought you to me, babe. You believe that?
Yes, sir.
I know for a fact. Taurus, facts.
Yes, sir.
Bootsy, all you guys. I'm telling you, I believe that. And here's what I want you to understand. Why that's important is because you were brought here, you are here now, and there's something you were supposed to get. Something you're supposed to get today. I don't know what that is, but you got to find it. Right? So it's important to ask yourself that you know, when you're going through the process of why you're here. I mean, I go back and I look at this whole thing right here. Listen, guys, I can tell you, I can give you a lot of experiences, but trying to put an event together like this, man, it's hard. It's freaking hard. Right? I know a lot of people. You know, people have back out the last second. Right? And I can make all kinds of excuses. And you want to talk about, hey, do I look confident to you guys as a confident person? Do you think I am? I am pretty confident in a lot of areas. Some areas I'm like weak, but most areas I'm pretty confident, right? But what I will tell you is, man, do you know the emotions over the last 3 weeks for me? Up, down. Fuck this. I don't know if I'm going to do that. Man, I don't know. Oh, I got a bunch of people. Oh, it's exciting. Oh, no, he backed out again. Man, putting on an event, the stress behind putting everything together. But what I want you to know is when it's game time, it's time to roll. You got to show up. You got to post up. Got to make it happen. Right? That's your responsibility. That's my responsibility. Right? So here's my point. Make a decision to grow. I need you guys to track when we start getting into this stuff, man. Make the choice right now. I'm going to stand side by side with Louie, and I'm going to better my life because God brought me right here. The universe put you right here, right now. So you need to get whatever is flowing through me. And I don't even know what's going to flow through me. I got a script in my brain, on a board, on a presentation. I drift. I squirrel, man, a lot. I don't know. So, again, here's one thing I want you to, the word decision. The root word of decision. Decision to grow. You're making a choice to grow. Incision, right, is cutting into, right? Excision is cutting out. But making a decision is to cut off. That's what you're cutting off. We're going to cut off all the potential opportunities going to prevent us from not growing. So you want to take a look at that and figure out what's stopping you. You don't worry about the how. How will show itself up most times. I get caught up in the how. How am I going to do this? Don't worry about the how. The how usually shows up, right? If you're committed. So stay committed to what we're trying to learn and figure out in 2024 what your goals are going to be. Hopefully when I'm done with you, you'll be thinking your goal's 40 cars in January. And everybody's going to be like, what? Come on, man. You going to do what? Oh, you don't went for that training. Well, you doing hook, line, sinker. Boy, you can. What do they want to do? They just want to take you right off the rail. So by February, March, you'll be right back to 13. You'll be right back. You got to remember something. Your life, my life, is like a thermometer, right? We set it on 72 degrees, right? And so what happens, like in this room, it's set for 70 degrees. So it doesn't matter what in the hell happens on the outside of this room. Guess what? That temperature goes whoop, whoop, right back to 70 degrees, right? And you operate and I operate just like that. In terms of success, 100%, we're killing it. A lot of us operate at 70. When we get to like 101 month, it's like, what the fuck just happened? That was like an anomaly. How did I sell 25? Ooh, I got to get back to 16. That's where I normally play, right? And people around you want to take you down. They don't want to see you succeed. It's not they don't like you. They got their own insecurities, right? So we get people that want to help you succeed. One quick story real quick about making a commitment. If you guys commit today, and I'm just telling you to commit to yourself, not to me. Commit to yourself to really say, look, I want to go through this, man. We'll learn some stuff on Facebook, some new clothes, but you got to commit to really getting better. I was a general sales manager at a Honda dealership in Atlanta, Georgia. And I asked AutoNation, hey, man, would you do me a favor? I want to be a dealer. Would you send me to Dealer Academy? I said, no, we're not sending you to Dealer Academy. Okay. So I look up. Dealer Academy costs $15,000. Tyson's Corner, Virginia. It's one week, every other month for the whole year. Shit, how am I going to do this? Thank God for Bill Tennant. Bill Tennant was like my mentor in the car business. Great car guy. Good man. Filled with integrity. Loved him to death. He's my general manager. I go, Bill. Now he's the GM. I'm a GSM, general sales manager. I need to go to this Dealer Academy because I want to buy a car store. I want to be a dealer. He looks at me. He's like, brother, you ain't even a GM. I'm with you. I got you. But I'm committed. I know I can get it done, but I got to get the information because I was terrified. I didn't know parts and service. I didn't know parts, service, and accounting, and I didn't want to get put together. Right? When I got to a point, I didn't want to get to a place where I'm like, I'm green. I don't know how to handle this. Right? So he said, I'll make a deal with you. You can get out of here 1 week out of the month. But the minute our numbers go down while you're gone or any given time, you got to suspend the class. Make sure they'll suspend the class and you can take it the following year or you'll get a credit for whatever you have. And I'm good with that. So no problem. I call them up. They're good with that. So I went, paid for it. Paid for Dealer Academy as a general sales manager, 27 years old. Because in my mind, I made a commitment. I'm going to be a dealer. That's what I'm going to do. Did I know the how? No idea the how. I didn't know the town. I didn't know what that looked like. So my point to you is you make a decision, in my experience, when I have fully made a decision, there are times where I took my toe in the water, made a decision to do it, and then I go, I back up, get back out. I've made decisions to get in, and I've made some to get right back out. Make a decision and a commitment to get in there, and watch what happens to yourself. This is something that's near and dear to my heart, okay, when I share with you, because there's nothing worse. There's nothing worse in the world. I'm just gonna, again, when I say this, I want you to understand there's no females in here except Wendy, of course, but I'm not trying to be, I want to speak to men about this, okay? There's nothing worse than a man that feels stuck, okay? When I say stuck, let me give you a few examples of being stuck. Go through a divorce, lose your job, been there 27 years, no pension, no nothing, you're of age, 50 years old, got to go find something else, got to restart in some way, shape, or form. Any of these things and other things can get you stuck. What does stuck look like? Stuck looks like who you are as a person. Who you really are as a person is not showing up. In fact, you can't even remember that guy anymore. Can you relate? Like you know, somebody else may speak of you in a certain way and they see you today and go, man, what is wrong with you? You don't even see me yourself. You're stuck, right? You're in a bad spot. We want to get unstuck. So I thought it had value to share with you because I don't know who's in the room right now that is not playing at their full 100 potential because they're stuck. I don't know. But I do know this. You will get to a point, if you're not careful, where you get stuck in the future. And so it's important to know how to get out of that. Okay? So when you're stuck, there are 3 reasons why you're stuck. It's in your notes, but I want you just to write it down. Just put stuck, and there's 3 reasons. And the 3 reasons will keep you in what I call that karmic cul-de-sac. You know how a cul-de-sac is? You just can't get out of it, right? And the karma you're getting is not what you want, but you're recreating it. And I can speak of this with such confidence because I've been there, and it's tough. It's hard. It robs you of everything you want and what you should get out of your life. Okay, but the 3 things. The very first thing is you can't control a circumstance, a situation, or another person. You have no control over a situation, circumstance, or another person. Okay? When you are focusing on these 3 things, that being number 1, it's going to keep you stuck. If think about this for a second. You wake up in the morning. You wake up, first thing you do is grab your phone, see what time it is, hit the snooze button, throw the covers off, go brush your teeth, go flick on the light, look at yourself in the mirror, make coffee. I don't know what your routine is, but you're tracking. You have a certain way how you operate, right? All right. So when you're getting your day going and you analyze what is on your bandwidth in your mind all day long, what is the majority of what you're thinking about?
Louie, you say situation, person,
Circumstance.
And circumstance. That's correct. So how you know you got this problem, that you're focused too much on a person, situation, or circumstance, is it dominates your thoughts. Right? All day long or all throughout the day, it's like, gives you anxiety, gives you high blood pressure probably, give you a little bit of depressional thoughts, give you a little bit of uncertainty. Your bandwidth is only so big. And if you're focused on things you can't control, it's going to keep you stuck. It's going to keep you stuck. Okay? Lived it. Okay? I got issues that I've had in my life, kept me stuck. Still got issues. Got children. Love them. Don't communicate with them like I should. Not like we should. I'm not connected with them. I want it. I try it. I give it. But again, that's just mindset. That's just excuses. Right? Because a real good dad will figure it the fuck out. What do you think? So I still live in some of that area of stuckness. So that's number 1. Number two is going to keep you stuck is you're focused too much on everything you don't have. All your lack. That's all you're thinking about, what I don't got. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough savings. I don't have enough love from somebody. I don't have enough of my kids' time. I don't have enough toys. I don't have a bigger house. I don't have the job that I want. Make sense? Here's the thing. I'm not asking you to identify which one of these happened. My question is, if that dominates your thoughts, you're stuck. That's all you're thinking about. You're stuck. Okay, I've lived in that one too. Right? And we're going to talk about how to get unstuck, but that's important. And then the third thing you think about is everything you think about or what consumes your bandwidth is about the past or the future. The past. The past is over. The past is done. Every single thing that you've experienced is behind you. It has expired. Are there consequences for the past? Absolutely. Right? But one of the things we can do, especially as men, all right, what I've done is the experience has happened. It's in the past. There are consequences to be paid. But the greater consequence is I tell myself and shame myself and guilt myself even more above and beyond the circumstances I'm going to have to deal with by making wrong decisions. I'm keeping it right there. I'm taking the past and I'm putting it right in this present moment. So now my present's my past. But it's already gone. But it's right here with me. And we're going to hang on to it all day. Does that make sense? It's important. It's super important to not be stuck because you can't get, write this down, if you're stuck, you cannot get production, power, purpose, profits, or perspective. If you are stuck, you have no production, no power, no purpose, no profits, or perspective. And guys, you need that. That's what gives you the certainty in the sales game. That's what gives you the certainty in life, right? Your body being balanced in business. There's 4 areas of your life you're working on, hopefully focused on, trying to work on, right? And it requires power, the right perspective, right? You need a little money in the bank. You know, people say all the time, money don't make you happy. I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I will tell you, not having money don't make you happy. You need money, right? If I want to go, like I had experience we talk about right here at Central Park, and I want to go to New York for 3-4 days, I want to be able to go. Like now. Got to have money. Well, if I'm stuck, chances are I'm not making the money. Right? You got no money, you got more problems. Got more issues, right? So, again, we want to make sure that we're not stuck. So, solution to that should be in your book, right? Do you have it? Solution, right? Focus on yourself. And I'm not talking about being selfish, but I will say this. Have you been taught your whole life there's no I in team? You heard that, right? Well, let me debunk that for you. There is an I in team. I'll give you an example. Think about the car dealership. There's no I in team. Oh, yeah? If your receptionist picks up the phone, she got a shitty attitude and runs a customer off, does she affect the whole team? Is she the I? You damn right she's the I. If I'm playing football and I'm the quarterback, right? And my 2 guards don't block for me when I'm backing up and I'm ready to hit my guy, and my receiver's doing his deal and 2 guards let the backer come right through on a blitz and sack me, were they not the I in the team, the area of responsibility? Right? There is an I in team. The I is you. You count, you matter, you always have, you always will. Go back to your dealership. When you go to your dealership, everybody affects the outcome. You got the porter. He's a porter, man. All he's supposed to do is move cars, stock in the keys, tag the keys. That job ain't no big deal. Really? It's a big-ass job. Try it. How much does that affect the team when you can't find keys on a Saturday? 3rd car boss, thank you for the stock number. Can't find these keys either. Where's Johnny? Oh, he's off today. Porter off on Saturday. You trying to sell cars. There is an I in team. The I is you. You count, you matter. You got to show up and do your part. Everybody's got to do their part. Right? Bucci's a GM. If he don't show up and does his part, guess what? It's going to affect his salespeople. It's going to affect his technicians. He got to show up. He affects the team. He's the I. Right? So when I say focus on yourself, I'm not talking about selfish. I'm talking about focus on some self-improvement, some self-care, things about yourself, get your mind right. You know, another thing that I wish I was better at, but I know is soul quenching. And I've had some experience with this, but man, go do something for somebody else. You know, go do some contribution. Again, didn't have much experience with this Till I met a certain female in my life, and I remember walking in the door one day. True story, can't make this up. I walk in, nothing was really told to me. And on the island was all these stacks of bread, ham. We had all these things, Ziploc bags, and I'm looking around. The other two children are baking sandwiches. He's like, we're going downtown Jacksonville. We're going to feed the homeless. Start making sandwiches. Really? Okay. That's contributing to somebody else, right? I go down, first time, literally. She's driving. We're dipping and dodging. All the areas you think everyone's like, don't go down. Stop the car. Get out. Hey, how are you doing? I'm Louie. Just want to give you something to eat. You hungry? Awesome. Good to see you. That's what we did. You know how that made me feel? Fantastic. That's some self-care, right? That's how you get unstuck. You start realizing your situation ain't that bad. It's not that bad. Number 2 is be grateful, right? Be grateful and focus on what you want. So here's some of the things that some of the greatest people that learn the law of attraction or the I don't want to say manifestation because I'm not well versed in that, but the people that experience drawing a lot of things to their lives is they spend a lot of time writing down the things that they want. You'll see vision boards and things you probably heard of, but you write down what you want with no doubts. The reason why you don't write down what you want is because as soon as you write it down, something in your mind says, oh, you can't do that. So you take it off the list. Or I don't know how to do that. Take it off your list, right? The whole concept is on being stuck, you're so worried about what you don't have and the lack, you ain't got time to focus on what you do want, right? We're clear on what we don't have. So again, another way just to make sure you just be grateful for what you have, consider the possibilities, and like I always say, ink it, don't think it. So write that down. Ink it, don't think it. What do you think that means? True story. When I was severely into obsessive, compulsive, addictive behavior to win and succeed, like at all costs, like in my mind, not unethically, just me, like sacrifice, whatever it took, right? Had a little note card, several note cards. And on those note cards, I wrote down specifically, I will be a general manager by the time I'm 28 years old. I will own a dealership by the time I'm 35 years old. I will acquire $5 million by the time I'm 35 years old. These are still off my memory. February 28th, my birthday is February 25th. February 28th, I turned 28 years old and got the Honda dealership. By the time I was 35, I got a Toyota dealership. Had the $5 million. This was all written down. Again, not hocus pocus. That's a whole other class of teaching that I walk you through that what I do believe. My point is you ink it, you don't think it. You ink it, you don't think it. You write things down. You read it, you meditate on it, you pray about it. You work through it. You read it in the morning when you get up. You read it at night before you go to bed. These are basic tenets that anyone will tell you typically. And what are you doing when we're doing that? All we're doing with vision boards and writing things down, all we're simply doing is keeping our mind focused on what we want. Because if you don't, your mind's going to take you right down the road of the karmic cul-de-sac of what you don't have. Does that make sense? That's all that's going to happen. So you're going to think something. You're going to think your way to somewhere. You just got to determine which way you're going to think yourself. So again, focus on what you want. And the third thing is just make sure, we're talking about the solution to being stuck, is just stay present. It is hard, but you got to stay present. Present in the moment. Be optimistic about the future, but don't live in the future. And I'm like one of the worst. Like I'm always 5 years ahead. Right? Bad. I got to work on that. But I know that can cause anxiety, stress. And again, I got no control over right now, which becomes a circumstance, situation, person, or thing that I got no control over right now. So why am I going to take up my bandwidth? Right? All right. So getting stuck, obviously, is a massive, massive problem. I hope and pray everybody in the room, nobody finds themselves stuck. But I do have a question. So we just kicked all this off because we're getting ready to get into the car stuff now. We're talking about, okay, what in the world does everything I just had, that I just went over with you, have to do with selling cars? And in my opinion, in my experience for the years that I've been in the car business, there's no coaching, teaching, or training on how to break addiction. You watch too much porn. You drink too much. Smoke too much weed. Hey man, you're married. You run around your wife. Hey man, you show up to work late. You know what we talk about? How many ups you got? How many cars you got out? How much money you making? Really? Where'd you go last night? right? So to me, coaching, teaching, training, developing, helping people, okay, we got to get the whole gamut in, right? And to those that do what I do, to be honest with you, it's always a fantastic refresher and an anchor to help guide, because really I'm guiding myself through the process with you. Does that make sense? Right? We all the same. We're all the same, trying to get better. If you're making the commitment to get better. So again, this has a lot to do with your overall. So I just want you to write down in your notes, what is, out of everything we've talked about in the first hour and a half, what is the one thing, like the Keller Williams book, the one thing, just break down one thing. What's the one thing that's been holding you back? And before you totally answer that, what's holding you back from you selling more cars, taking more action, and learning to be comfortable, or uncomfortable, excuse me. What is holding you back? Peer pressure, what other people think, scared, nervous. Be real, be raw, be freaking real, man. Just, because if you're like me, you're probably a fucking liar. You're a car person, you lie a lot. You got to break that. I'm still trying to break that. Be honest with yourself. What is the one thing holding you back from achieving the person that you know you can be? That's for you, not me. It's not an open discussion. I want you to really just go through that in your mind's eye, because that's what you're going to have to overcome. It's that one thing. And there may be three. Like I say this, and I'm being so truthful with you guys. I hope you can respect it. Like when I looked at my one thing, I had a lot of things that I did, but the one thing was, man, I drank, right? And I didn't drink every day. I wasn't an everyday drinker, right? But it was the one thing beyond anything else I had to take off the table before I can get to some other things. Does that make sense? I don't know what your one thing is. That's what I'm asking you to consider. What is the one thing, the most important thing? Remove that shit and let's move forward so you can make some money and have 2024 your best year. Couple quick things. Talk about distraction versus focus. So I just want to give you some things. Is this in your book? It is? Okay. So I'm just going to touch it, but I really want you guys to really just I'm just going to go through just a couple scenarios because I want you to realize what we're doing that you may not even realize. So digital overload, right? We're talking about distraction versus focus. Anything that takes you off your focus. If you're not trying to learn, grow, get better, it's probably got your attention in a way that's adverse or hurting you, right? So digital overload. What is that? Constantly on Facebook. Maybe it's, whatever. You're doing social media stuff that's really just a waste of time. At the end of every week, doesn't your phone, if you have an iPhone, tell you how much time you've been on your phone? Take a look at that. That damn thing may say 6.5 hours on social media this week. 22 hours on social media, 11 hours on YouTube, right? So again, something just to pay attention to. Multitasking, right? I like to claim I'm self-diagnosed ADD, right? So I got ADD, but I can multitask. The problem is you don't get not one thing done right when you're doing a whole bunch of things. Right? So when it comes to what we do on a daily basis, we got to delegate, make sure other people are participating and helping us through the process so you're not over multitasking. We talked about a mindset, right? Negative mindset. That's obviously a huge distraction. And if you get yourself to a point where you have a negative mindset, this is important. You know when you have a negative mindset, and that can happen, boom, that quick. I mean, deal blew out of the box. You were feeling great, then all of a sudden you pissed off. Mindset negative. Got it. A negative mindset can turn into a negative personality if you're not careful. Then you become that person. So if you have a negative mindset, it's important, and a lot of us do this. You're going through something, what do? You call up one of your homeboys. Hey man, dude, check this out. You got an ear? I got to tell you something. You got a minute? Okay, here's what happened. Boom, you bounce it off them. But again, who's in proximity? Who are you running with? Who are you bouncing it off of? Right? Is it someone you respect, admire? That's a little better than you, or not better than you, in a better position than you are that you can look up to? I mean, you got to consider that, right? All right, toxic relationships. Come on now. That'll tear you down, right? And I'm not just talking about just a significant other. That could be toxic at the workplace. That could be, but if you got those relationships going on, they're devastating, right? They will keep you. Again, you only got so much bandwidth. Right? Only got so much bandwidth. And relationally, you're probably focusing on the other person and what they're doing, and it's got you just all flustered, right? So in the book, we talk about more of the items that are in there. I think we've covered that enough. I want to get moving on. I want to start mapping out. Some philosophy, some car stuff, so we can get rock and rolling and get to the meat and potatoes here. So you go to the page in your book where it says mapping it out. Do you guys have that? You got it? Okay. So the first thing I want you to think of is I want you to consider, because here's what I want you to focus on. Most guys are selling 9 cars, 11 cars, 13 cars, 7 cars, 17 cars, right? We think a 20-car guy's a good guy, don't we? We think a 20-car guy's a good guy. Oh, he sells 20 a month. Dude, 20 cars a month is like literally, you average, $500 a car. I mean, what does that pay you? 8 grand, 10 grand, right? I mean, that's 20. And if you're averaging $500 a car, right? Commission, with your bonuses and everything, right? So again, there's much more available to you. And so again, the first thing I want you to start thinking about is, I'm going to show you how we get to 40. I think 40 is a starting point. And I'm hopeful if you don't get to 40 and you do 33, Taurus, would that work for you? That'd be all right, right? Right? Jacoby, you going to sell how many this month? You trying to get 25? Right. So if you fell short at 35, you feel all right with that, wouldn't you? Right? So think about it. But again, when you say that, you smile because you're going, damn, because what you're thinking is, if I could really do that, man, if I really did that, that would be, because there's a doubt. There's a lack of a plan, right? Coach calls a play. You ain't got no player, you got to play. It's 4th down. It's 4th quarter. There's 4 minutes left. We're on the 14-yard line. I need to play. I need to play that's going to get me to score. I got to get in the end zone. Field goal ain't going to work. And then when I get in the end zone, I got to get a 2-point conversion. So I got to make 2 plays. You got to have the play. You got to know what to do. So we talked about starting Automobile University. So what is that? Okay. Now, if you're going to grow, and this is drawing from my own past experience, this is not something that I'm reading to you. I'm just telling you what I did. Because I was obsessive. I was obsessive this way. I wanted to win. I wanted to make money. I wanted to be a car dealer. I wanted to be a GM. Nobody was telling me different. My car became my university. Back in the day, I had cassette tapes. That's dating myself a little bit. Cassettes. Not even CDs. Cassettes. Right? And I had Jackie Cooper, and I had Grant Cardone, and I even had Joe Verdi stuff, or whatever the case may be. And I'd be popping those bad boys in. And man, I'd be just listening, over. All you need is words. You're in a gunfight with a customer. All you got is bullets. But you go through the chamber and it's like, what's it going to take to earn your business? If I could do that, would you? No more. Ain't no more bullets. What's it going to take? And if I could, would you? Now I ain't got no more bullets. I got nothing else to say. Boss, you got to come in for a TO. Make sense? You got no words. How are you going to get words? You got to go get them from somebody who knows how to use the words that you're like, I got that. And then you got to practice, drill, rehearse. You got to go memorize. You got to go figure this shit out. Right? It's not rocket science. We're talking about closing car deals. It's an art and a science. Do you know what that means? The art, I'm going to break this down. You ought to write this down. Closing car deals. We'll get to it again. All right? It's an art and a science. The art of closing a deal, the art is the imagination. It's when you hear somebody close a deal. Like I'm going to go over one probably today. I hope more than one. But when I'm done, you're going to go, damn. Woo! That was good. Say that again. What you going to say? Why? Because you heard some imagination, transferred energy in a way that you're like, I never used that. That makes a lot of sense to me. So I know it makes sense to Mr. Johnson. Because all I'm saying is if I could, would you? Right? So the art is the words, the scripts, the imagination. It's the words, the scripts, the imagination. That's the art of closing a deal. You got to know what to say. The science, here we go. This is where salespeople suck. Right? This is where we all drop the ball. Managers included. The science is the practice, drill, rehearse. The science is actually the memorization. Doing it over and over and over and over till you got it and it flows and it's yours. Does that make sense? Practice, drill, rehearse. Science is the practice. So, I want to ask you a question. If you made a commitment for 1 year, I'm just using that as a random number. 1 year you made a commitment that you were going to do Automobile University for just 1 hour a day. Now, track with me now. You ain't unique. Don't have your ego in the place. I could go to Texas. I could go to New York. I could go to Los Angeles, and I could be in a room with other salespeople. Their customers ain't any different than yours. They still don't know word tracks either. They still don't know how to answer the phone and set appointments. They still don't know how to use video on social media. They go through the same stuff, right? But if I were just, in knowing that, if you had 1 hour a day, you did that Monday through Friday, that's 5 hours a week, right? 5 hours a week of studying. Not role playing, not practicing, studying, education. What I'm doing here is educating the class. Training is where you come up to the front and we're going to do it together. Tell me what you learned. Does that make sense? So, but if I gave you that education, just 1 hour a day, it's 5 hours a week, it's 25 hours in a month, 25 hours in a working month, you putting in the time, that's 300 hours a year. Now, question for you, could you see yourself putting, think about that, 300 hours in a year, is that a lot of work? I mean, compared to what you're doing now, though. But I'm just saying, compared to what you're doing now. Shouldn't be. But if I ask you, are you doing 1 hour of work to your craft, to your business, 1 hour of training, educating, and getting better, would the answer be yes or no? To most people. It'd be no. It don't make them bad. It don't make them wrong. It makes them normal. But if you're going to have what most people don't have, you're going to do some things that most people ain't willing to do. It's the things that nobody sees you do that creates the things that everybody sees. Does that make sense? It's the things that nobody sees you do in the dark. Getting up at 4 a.m. Getting to the gym. Nobody sees you do that. It's all those things that create everything. When they look at you, go, oh, Taurus, you got this? Wow, how'd you get that? Man, you riding deep, man. They didn't see all the work. So, Automobile University, start employing. So, what can you learn? Man, I got stuff I could sell you. You could DM me, we could talk about it down the road. I didn't bring nothing here to sell you. Hell, even my book, I gave it to you, right? I wanted to pour into you, right? Share with you and help you guys. But the point is, Automobile University is you're going to have to get content, phone skills, closing skills, psychological skills, preachers, teachers, game planning, like anything and everything you can think of to get better. Just an hour. Just an hour. Just get better. The advantage you have, and we'll get into it, the law of separation, the advantage you have is ain't nobody else doing it. I can have a room full of 100 people in here, one guy, two guys, maybe three are doing it. Does that make sense? Okay. So in every sales process, we learn how to meet and greet, right? We learn to do a needs assessment, fact finding, right? We hope most dealers, general managers, sales managers, and even salespeople, we hope we have the skills to get somebody in the building so we're not walking on the lot and trying to do a needs assessment as we're walking, trying to write down notes. That don't work. That's hard, right? So we got some things for that, right? We got the vehicle selection, the demo presentation, right? The trial close, right? Which I believe, personally, when you trial close on a car deal, you don't trial close on the money, but that's what we're taught. Mr. Customer, pulling the sold lane. Hey, man, if I can get terms, figures, agree, would you buy and own the car today? Yes or no? To me, it's the dumbest question in the world. To me, right? Now, I may want to trial close on the car, make sure I got, hey, assuming the monies are great, you know, is this the car you wanted to own, but based on all the features and benefits that we talked about in the needs assessment? Perfect. Yeah, great. Let me show you how easy it is to buy the car. And then we get into whatever, you know, objection we may have about going inside. Mr. Johnson comes in to buy a car, and he tells me 3 times, just looking. First place I've been, wife's not with me. So we all know in that scenario, this guy's going to be a little tough. But I finally do my job as a salesman. Like the boss don't know, but you want to tell the boss, dude, I have like busted my ass to get this guy to sit down and do a needs assessment. I got him in a car. We actually drove it. He told me 3 times he wasn't going to drive the car. And now I've offered to give him some figures so I can see if he's willing to buy the car. And you're telling me, the guy's telling me he don't want to buy something today, so I can't give him no figures. Makes no sense. But you as a salesperson in the freezing cold or the hot ass sun, doing your job to get him next level, right? So my point is when I get to a point of a trial, I assume everyone's there to buy. They're all there to buy because they all going to buy from somebody. It's a matter of when and from who. So I don't want to mess up my chances when I finally got this guy to a point of easing up, liking me, and we get to a point where I need to go inside and serve him some figures so I got a 50-50 shot. If I can write you up, I got a 50-50 shot. No write-up means no deal. So if he says, hey man, I'm gonna go, I'll call you later, give me your car, boom, I'm at Six Flags, I'm taking rides. I didn't do nothing. Got no chance to make money. As a salesperson, pisses me off. Like, I got him this far, let's put him on paper, right? So if I'm dealing with a customer that has told me 3 times, think of the logic and the psychology. 3 times I'm not buying today, not buying today, not buying. Perfect, understand. Most people don't. Most people want to shop around. I get it, I understand. I'd do the same thing if I were you. We're not talking about buying today, we're talking about moving to the next level. That's all we're talking about, getting to the next level. So if we're trying to get to the next level, and this guy's told me 3 times, and I go, hey, let me ask you a question. If I can get the terms and figures agreeable, would you buy and own the car today? Boom. Everything I built up goes right out the window. He's like, oh, damn. You know what? No. Let me get a card. Shit, I almost went inside with you. You had me. I was about to go inside and write one up with you. Right? That's all we've done. The guy that says I'm here to buy a car, we ain't got to trial close that guy. He's coming in, he's right up on us trying to get in there and see what numbers it is, right? So, again, the trial close, then we talk about the write-up, and then obviously we close the car deal. And in most stores, you should have a service walk. Again, underappreciated, underutilized, undervalued part of the process. Most people don't do. Need to walk service drive, and then we deliver the vehicle. And in today's day, delivering a car, especially new cars, ain't no joke. There's a whole bunch to that. I mean, it's a whole bunch to it, right? All right. So this is something I'm gonna hit this, and this is gonna be a first key learning. Everybody on a meet and greet is the least desirable spot or the least fun and think they got it dialed in. But I want to challenge you that in this meet and greet, what we do and how we get this process going is critical. So the question is, for me, is when I meet somebody, my 100% focus is, let me back up. In the whole sales process, all I want to do is move the ball down the field. That's all we're trying to do. We're just trying to get the ball into the end zone, which means I'm going to get roadblock after roadblock after roadblock, and most salespeople are going to stop the process. Hell, even some managers will stop it. Well, we ain't doing that if he ain't going to do that. We ain't doing that. Well, you know we ain't doing that, so I don't know why you're wasting your time. All that talk, man, all that talk is like non-prohibitive to making car deals, right? I need everybody energetic, everybody optimistic, and everyone believing. Guy's going to buy from somebody, boss. You agree? Yeah. Is it possible he can buy somebody? It's possible. Let's try to sell him a car. Because when he leaves, the chance of him coming back is 33%. Those are the odds of somebody coming back to a car dealership. It's 33% of B-backs. That's the number. 7 customers, 3 come back, if you're lucky. Right? So, we're trying to move this ball down the field. So when we're talking about a meet and greet, and we're talking about interacting with somebody, the timing of when we approach them, you guys are well aware. Someone just pulls up, we all up on them. No, give them a little space, right? Are you fighting with two of your friends, two of your coworkers to get to them? Y'all got to work through that. Aside from that nonsense, right? Do we want a customer out in the yard for 10 minutes before we actually address them? Of course not. Now we can't get a needs assessment because now he's out and already picked out what he thinks he wants. So we got to have our head on a swivel, constantly looking at watching the floor, see what's going on, so we can make sure at the point of contact when a customer comes on the lot, we know when to greet them. Now, once we greet them, here's where I think we lose sight. If I took this stopwatch out, and I've done this many times, all right. I'm not going to do it today. I love to, but I'm not going to do it today because we're still pressed on time. But if I gave you this stopwatch and I said, go meet and greet the customer, and I need you, before you come inside for a needs assessment, I need the clock to say 5 minutes before you come inside. You would be amazed if I got 2 people up on the front here, and I said, okay, Taurus, Bootsy, you guys come on up front. Taurus, you're the customer. Bootsy, you're the salesperson. Here we go. No matter what the experience is, and there's an element of being uncomfortable in front of a group. I get that. Aside from that, it's, hey, welcome to, my name is, your name, pleasure to meet you. What brought you in today? What can I get you information on today? And you start ripping, right? And some may say, oh, it looks like you're driving a 2012, whatever. Do you golf? Or I see your tag is Polk County. Do you live there? I got some family. I got you. And that's normal. That's normal jargon when you're communicating with the customer, right? But the ability to create a relationship, a genuine relationship as you meet somebody, and taking the pressure off the conversation where you can actually figure out, hey, what brought you in today? What's going on in your life? Why'd you choose us? What are the cars you're looking at? Really, those are great cars. Really, so aside from the Kias, what else are you looking at? Perfect. And so on our car line, what was it that caught your eye? Oh, it was a used car. Good, so you're open to used? Good, the last car you bought was a new or used? You see what I'm doing? Like everything that's being said, I just want some dialogue. And here's the reason why. Right up here where it says, based on what you've shared with me. So this is how I can guarantee. Did anybody have any problems getting somebody in the dealership for a needs assessment? Or can you do it 100% of the time? I mean, every customer they're willing to walk in the door with you, no problem? No, they don't like that, do they? Because they didn't come to the dealership to give you anything. They came to get something, right? So as soon as you want to get something from them, like I need your name, your number, your information, time out. That's not where. So you gotta have a skill level to be able to overcome that, right? All right. So when you're outside of the meet and greet, you're taking the time, and you've got to be, again, if you don't practice this, you're not going to get better at this. How do you practice? Is you grab two of you guys at the store, say, hey, come on up. I'm just going to hit you with questions. Give me the answers. Let's flow. We'll flip it around. It don't take long. But once you start interacting, my name is, and your name, fantastic. What brought you in today? How long you been looking? Perfect. What you're currently driving, is that a rental? Is that your car? Are we going to trade that? Are you going to keep that? Oh, perfect. The equipment you got in the car, is that something you want to match, or you want to go, all these questions, we're still going to get the needs assessment, because that's where we're going to structure the deal. Again, you're having your conversation, then you say, you know what, Ms. Johnson, based on what you share with me, I got some phenomenal options for you. I think I know exactly what you're looking for. Follow me. And you just turn and walk. Now they don't know if we're going to a certain part of the yard, if we're going back in the building, but you can't tell a customer, if I don't ask questions and I don't get them talking, I can't say based on what you shared with me if you didn't share nothing with me. Does that make sense? If you can't say based on what you shared with me, I think I have some phenomenal options that it's going to work perfectly based on what you shared, follow me. You got to ask the right questions, right? But that should be memorized in your head, right? So let's back up so we can move forward. Meet and greet. I got one objective. The objective is to get them in the dealership. Build a relationship, make a friendship, get on the same page, get them in the dealership. Why? We need to get to the next step. The last thing you want is your customer walk in the lot and you commit sales malpractice. Right? You know what sales malpractice is? Huh? Not a lot drop. What's malpractice? Go to the doctor and get sued for malpractice. What has he done? We've done a terrible job, right? He's probably led you down a road you shouldn't have gone without doing the proper steps, right? So you go to a doctor's office, right? And this doesn't normally happen to y'all, but imagine if you did, you sit in the waiting area, right? As soon as you get up, as soon as they call your name back there, you go meet with a certain person first. You don't get to the doctor, right? Get to the lady or the man, and they get you on the scale. You get the scale, and you sit down. They take your blood pressure. They get all your vitals. Then they get the little computer out. They start asking you all these questions, right? Sound like a needs assessment? Sound like a fact finding? A little qualification? It's in every business. It's in everything we do, right? Doctor comes in, doing what he's supposed to do. He handles the situation, and you guys talk through what you need to. But if he just walked in and said, look, based on what my nurse told me, it sounds like you need this here. Take that script, go to CVS. If you need something else, give me a call, okay? You have a great day. Talk to you later. He walks out. Well, Doc, hold on, Doc. He's gone. I didn't get a chance to tell him, right? So, again, you can't commit sales malpractice. And doing that would be basically letting a customer go pick a car or land on a car, or you have no direction by understanding what they need. What are the symptoms? What do you need? You want bigger, smaller, more fuel efficient, more equipment based on the last car? You want to change this? You want to keep that? Oh, you want to go to SUV? Oh, you want a full-size truck? Oh, only import. So you want Nissan or Toyota? Oh, you're open to Honda Ridgeline. Okay. If I don't know all that information, how can I lead them? Right? We just let them roll out in the lot. Now we just got malpractice all over the place. They're just picking out $300 a month, man, and got them on a Ford and they want a Honda. Does that make sense? We're just talking about a meet and greet. So what I want you to understand is when you talk about making a commitment to get better, these are small little things that we just blow right on by, okay? So now we're in a needs assessment. Let's assume we did that right. Because all I'm going to talk about is the meet and greet, the needs assessment, and we get some social media stuff and the write-up. So we did that right. So now we know how important the needs assessment is, right? Sitting them down. But here's the other thing. If you were skilled enough to get the guy in the building that didn't come to give you anything, and you're about to berate him with questions, he came to get something, that takes a little bit of a little art as well. Would you agree? Like, how can I get this guy talking to where it's not interrogation, it's communication? Right? So if you ever run into a situation where, you go to the desk and you're starting to work a deal and they're like, hey, where's your needs assessment sheet? Oh, I didn't get that. And then you get yelled at. But you ain't ever taught on how to slow somebody down and get it done and do it properly. So I got something for you. You open to it? You open to it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. Let's go to the next page. I believe it's on there. Starts off with Mr. Customer. So I don't make the same mistakes is what it should say. You guys there? Huh? It's on the same page? Okay. All right. So here's what we do. So we bring somebody inside. The first thing we want to do is offer them a beverage, cup of coffee, something cold to drink. Again, always thinking about reciprocity, always giving as much as you can, right? We want to focus on conversation, not interrogation. And we're going to fill out the whole needs assessment. Again, I want to bring this home to you so you can relate it. We talked about the doctor's office, but I could also utilize the same thing with the real estate salesperson. If you've ever bought a house before or wanted to buy a house, you don't just walk into the Remax building and the receptionist is sitting there and you say, hey, yeah, I'd like to get an agent. And she says, hey, Steve, we've got a customer out here. Steve comes out. Hey guys, how are you? Yeah, we're looking for a house, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Maybe ranch style. We'd love a pool if we can have that as well. And Steve says, give me 1 second, let me grab my keys. We'll go look at some houses. Grabs his keys, he jumps into his little minivan and off you go. You start driving the whole county. Is that how it works? Be kind of a tough sale, wouldn't you think? What's Steve going to want to know? He went, hold on, time out. Come on back to my office. You guys pre-qualified? What are you currently in? Are you renting now or what's he doing? He's getting the merits of the deal. Then once he gets all the stuff, realizes these folks are capable, right? He's going to say, okay, great. Let me do this. How about tomorrow around 2 o'clock? We'll take a look at some houses. Let me look at the MLS and see what I got out in the marketplace and go from there. Will that work for you? Perfect. Fantastic. Or that's a phone call that came in. What's he doing? He's going to go to MLS based on what they shared. He's going to show them 3 houses, not 300. These 3 based on what you shared with me. Based on what you shared with me, I got some phenomenal options for you, I believe. Follow me. Does that make sense? Right? We don't want to show the customer every car on the lot. Why are we going to show them what they can't buy, afford, structure, finance, credit, all these variables? Come on inside. Get them a cup of coffee, something cold to drink. Let's do a needs assessment.
Just to expound on what you're saying, it's so funny that the different jargons, what people say.
Right?
Yours is you shared with me.
Yep.
Reese, what's the strongest 3 words in the car industry? It's the same thing.
Right.
You told me, and
Yep.
this is the reason why we're showing you this car.
Absolutely.
It's the same.
Absolutely. Yep. So when you transition and you sit in front of a customer, so here's how you go from interrogation to communication. Let me share it with you first, okay? And I'm sharing it with you because it's memorized. It's been practiced, drilled, rehearsed. It's in my brain, right? It's in your book. We'll find a page here because I want you to make sure you have to memorize this as well. But basically you say, Mr. Customer, so I don't make the same mistakes that a lot of salespeople make around the country. So Mr. Customer, Miss Johnson, would you do me a favor? So I don't make the same mistakes that a lot of salespeople make around the country or even a lot of dealerships. Would you share with me how you would like to buy your next car so I can better serve you? That's the word track. That's the art. The science is you got to go memorize it. And after you memorize it, you can tailor a bit to your own personality because I can change that up based on my customer. But let's look at some key words. Mr. Johnson, would you do me a favor? Number 1, I'm asking for a favor, okay? Would you please share with me? I said, please, courteous, share. Would you offer to me how you would like to buy your next car? Again, how you would like it. Car dealers, we normally tell you how it's going to go down, what 2 cars you can buy, and here's why. You see the psychology, okay? Every word was selected. Would you share with me how you'd like to buy your next car so you can do what? I can better serve. How many car people are serving? You ever been a server before in a restaurant? How many car people are serving people? Most car people, it's straight about the money. But really and truly, we need to serve people. Like, we really need to, and that's a culture thing. Like, it's a culture thing. But when you share that with a customer, one of two things happen. Number one, they'll say, here's how I'd like to buy my next car. Or number two, they'll say, what do you mean by that? I don't even know what that means. I'm not buying nothing today. What does that mean? Okay? So if you get that, you simply just say, well, and I'm glad you asked me, okay? What I like to do, and it's our store stated policy, and I'd memorize that as well. Write that down, our store stated policy, our store stated policy. What happens when you tell somebody that's our store stated policy? Right? There's credibility to how we do business. There's thoughtfulness behind what we do. There's alignment. There's structure. It's our store stated policy, sir. Right? And sometimes we hear this and it tweaks us. When you go to a department store, sir, it's our store's policy. We don't give refunds. But that ain't what we want to do. It's our store stated policy to do something positive. Okay? So you say, so I can better serve you. And they go, well, I don't really know what you mean. Well, I'm glad you asked me that, but the reason why I'm sharing that with you is because part of our store stated policy is to make sure that a client gets all the information they need to make a well-informed decision whenever they choose to buy a car. A lot of times when somebody's coming into a car dealership, the salespeople at the dealership and or the store kind of dictates exactly what the customer has to do. What I like to do is we do things a little different, and I want to make sure that you share with me what's important to you. For example, equipment, doors, engine size, safety features. Again, all you're doing is touching the needs assessment. Next thing you know, they will start to communicate everything with you. And now you're just filling out the needs assessment. So now you're not looking at the needs assessment going, in your name, and your date of birth, and what's your address, and how long have you lived there? Like a credit application. Remember, somebody's coming to the dealership, they ain't trying to give you nothing. You want to get them to share with you so you can better the situation, structure the deal properly. Right? So in this needs assessment, there's a couple things in my world that I think is truly important. And that is an early appraisal, and that is an EMI, early manager TO. Now, most of your sales guys in here take this back to the store, piss off some of your sales managers because they're lazy. They're lazy. You're in my store, if you're running my store, all right, and I've been in Bootsy stores, a great example. If you're in my store, like literally, and there's an EMI that needs to happen, and I'm looking at my sales manager, I purposely, you sit right there. I go right out, I do the EMI, I come back, and I go, hey bro, did you see what I just did? Come here, let me show you something. I'll walk them right over, say, see that customer? That's every day, every time, without fail, no exception. If we got a customer, salesman needs help, everything else doesn't matter, where's the intensity? Early management introduction. You got it? Good. It's that simple. How hard is it for a manager to go out to the customer while you're in the middle of interacting and say, hey, how are you, sir? My name is Louie. I'm one of the managers here. Just want to tell you thank you for stopping by. I know you can buy a car anywhere in the country. Thank you. By the way, what are you looking at? Ford F-150. Great truck. Awesome. Who are you dealing with? Taurus? He's one of our best. One of our best. Awesome. Well, when you drive the F-150, I'd love to know what you love best about it when you drove it. And oh, by the way, if you need any financial numbers, interest rate payments, down payments, best price, Taurus doesn't do any of that stuff. I handle all that. I'm kind of the guy that no one ever sees, but you can see me. I will come right back out personally because we try to minimize the back and forth. Fair enough? And I walk out. Boom. What did I do in that interaction?
You did a lot. First of all, they met a manager right off. It's like, it's important that I come out and say I'm the general manager opposed to being the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain.
Correct.
And then you're so important that we thank you for coming out. You could have went anywhere. And there are a whole bunch of competition in a small city or a big city. And now, you know what? That's the general manager.
Right.
And you know what? This guy's doing a good job, but the general manager already knows I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
It made him feel like, you met the celebrity.
Well, here's the cool part. You see what he just rattled off? You met a manager. They make him feel comfortable. But subliminally, do you know what I really did? My major goal as a sales manager getting off the desk is to make sure that when Miss Johnson is with Taurus doesn't get his head ripped off about what the best price is and what's the best payment. Because why? I wanted to make sure. The main thing is, how are you? Good to see you. He's fantastic. What are you going to drive? Tell me about it when you get back. And oh, by the way, the guy you never see, That's me. And he doesn't do any of that. I do all of that. So I'll give that all to you before you leave. Fair enough? Do you see how fast I can get that, how I'm just translating? Why? Because it's like boom, boom, boom. In any store, that's how it's got to be. Now, in your stores, think about if your sales manager literally 11 times a day, or 9 times a day, or in some busy stores, 12 times a day, there's 3 managers. Man, they're going out there 3-4 times each. 5 times. And what are they doing? They're getting a chance to interact with the customers. They're getting a sense of feel. If there needs to be a TO, it's probably the guy that needs to go back and talk to him. Does that make sense? Right? Basic fundamentals. So we're just talking about how important it is. Number 1, based on what you shared with me, that's what I want you to take away. Based on what you shared with me, I got some great options. Boom, get a needs assessment. Now we're inside. Hey, so I don't make the same mistakes that a lot of salespeople make. It's our store stated policy. Allow me to, tell me exactly how you want to buy your next car so I can better serve you. Right? We get an early manager intro, preferably if we can. And here's the last piece. Before we touch the desk. Because we always want to touch the desk. Not because you don't know the inventory. Number 1, as a salesperson, I'm trying to sell a car. All you mugs need to know what's going on. I got somebody, right? So no, I walk my inventory. I'm asking you, is there aged cars? What do you want me to put them on? Here's what I got. Miss Johnson driving a Caravan. Want to trade it? 014.5. They're paying Exeter. They're paying $493 a month. They want to buy a new car. They want to stay somewhere between $493, no more than $600 a month. Talk to me. Where do we need to go? Okay, hold on a second. V-Auto. Look at the, okay, show him. They want to stay the van. They go SUV. They do both. Okay, hold on one second. Boom. I'm rattling through this in my head. Boom. Here's the 2 cars I want you to show them first. If they don't fall in love with them, let me know. Does that make sense? It's not that you don't know the inventory. You're trying to structure the deal, right? So before we touch the desk, we want to grab keys to an appraisal. What does that look like, or what would that look like? This does not mean we're actually going to appraise the car. What this means is I'm trying to get a commitment from the customer. I'm just kind of testing the waters. So here's what this looks like. Again, you guys got to, and it's in your book, but you got to put in the time. It's the art and the science. Here are the words. Here's the art. Now I need to put in the science. You put in the work. Okay? So you tell a customer, hey, Miss Johnson, just so you know real quick, I'm getting ready to go find some cars that I think is going to work perfectly based on what you shared with me. But you know what? We survey our customers. Y'all got to write this down. We survey our customers. Write this down, and if you can memorize this, it'd be strong as death if you can learn how to relay it. We survey our customers, and here's what they say. We survey our customers, and here's what they say. I can't stand how long it takes to buy a car, or it takes too long, and I don't want to go back and forth. The more times you can use that in your vernacular and share that with the customer before they share it against you, the better off you're going to be in putting the car deal together. This customer, we survey our customers. You know what they tell us? They tell us that the process takes too long to buy a car, and they also tell us they don't like to go back and forth. They wish they got a better price right up front. All right, now let me go back to where I was when I paused, which is why I had you write that down. Okay, just got the EMI. Boop, manager goes out of the deal. Mr. Customer, one thing I didn't share with you, I've got some cars in mind. We're going to go get those cars and I'll pull them up for you. But one of the things we do at our dealership is we look at our surveys all the time. One of the things they say in our surveys that comes out over and over and over is it takes too darn long to buy a car. Like, people don't like the fact that it takes forever. You agree? You feel the same way? What do you think they're going to tell you? Absolutely. So in light of that, what we like to do is we like to, as you and I are driving a car, I like to get your car appraised. So by the time we come back, in the event you want to take numbers home with you, see, I say that on purpose too. Take home with you. Do I want them to go home? No, hell no, but I want to get you a write-up. So if I want you to feel like we're going to give it to you so you can go home, I need to get you back in the seat. So while we're driving the car, they're going to appraise the vehicle. So when we come back, boom, we have numbers 15 minutes or less. I just need your keys. Put my hands out. Now, if they give me the keys, you think they're interested in buying a car? They open. And they say, well, I don't know if I want to do that. I ain't at that space yet. No problem. Look, most customers don't want to take 2, 3, 4 hours. Sometimes I got John, he praises these cars and we get busy. I just, I want to give you figures before you go home. I just don't want to take forever. I don't know if you're sensitive, but if you don't mind being here a little longer, I'm good with that too.
Louie, what is the good part if they don't want to give you keys?
What is the good part?
Yeah. There could be a reason why they don't want to give you keys, so obviously there is a reason.
Right.
But if you can get to the reason, maybe you can get beyond it. I don't want to give you the keys because, I think I don't want to give you, you're not going to give me enough for the trade.
Right.
So you can use that.
You could.
Absolutely.
Absolutely you could.
Other than give you enough for your trade,
Right.
So there's good and bad, even with an objection, is what I try to teach my people.
Yeah, no.
Get to the objection.
Yeah, 100%. And what I'm trying to do in this process, just so you guys know, is I'm just taking the temperature. Can I get a commitment? Are they willing to do that? If not, it's not a deal breaker. I care less, actually, because honestly, when I get the keys and I go up to the desk and I say, okay, here's what I got. Oh, here's this trade, by the way. I already know Bootsy's not going to look at the car till I get back from a test drive anyway. I already know that. I just let it here. Just up. I got to put my stuff in Auto. I got to get all my stuff in e-leads. I mean, ain't nothing happening. But what does the customer think? Because I know when I get back, it's only going to take 4 or 5 minutes to get a car appraised anyways. Right? Because the commitment I made to the customers, I'll give you figures in 15 minutes or less. You tracking? So it's not even about actually getting the car appraised. I'll turn on the jets and get things moving, but I want to make sure, we're going through that process. All right, so just recap real quick. In the meet and greet, man, you got to take 5 minutes. And then you got to be able to have questions that are open-ended questions so you can tell them based on what you've shared with me. Based on what you shared with me, I got some great options, follow me. The whole goal, meet and greet, shake your hand, get a friend, take them inside. That's the goal. Once we're inside, hey, do me a favor. So I don't make the same mistakes that a lot of salespeople make. Would you share with me how you want to buy your next car so I can better serve you? Right? Boom. They start talking. Fill it out. Hopefully at that point, your culture, your team, someone is coming over there to meet them to take the price off your shoulders. Someone's coming over there to say, hey, Taurus doesn't handle any of that. Jacoby does not do any pricing. He shows the car. In most stores, you can't see the Wizard of Oz. That's me. I'll be more than happy and cannot wait to give you figures on your car and ours so you can take them home with you so you can make a well-informed decision whenever you choose to buy a car down the road. Would that be fair enough? So when they ask you that question, you say, hey, you met Louie. He's going to handle that for us. We just got to find the right car for you. He'll get it in 15 minutes or less. Make sense? You ain't got to worry about that because we're talking about gross profit. How can you get gross profit if you're fender trading outside? Once you think someone's going to leave and you start going, and you start, well, I think they're 250, 400, 300. I've seen them out here 600 a month before or whatever. You start going down this road, you give up all the gross, right? And then you get the pencil from the desk and you're like, shit, I can't tell him that. What do you mean you can't tell him that? Because I already told him 350. You got 790. You go show it to him, boss. And it prevents all that, right? And what I think is important for you to understand is most people don't present a car $1 million worth of material. We're going to ask for all the money when we give them the pencil, but we're not going to ask for all the money when we actually demonstrate the car. We're lazy. We're lazy-minded, okay? Managers let you be lazy because they don't question you. And here's the problem. You've all sold a car before without demoing a car before. Have you not? Have you ever sold a car without actually doing a demo and a presentation? No hood, no trunk, guess what? Commission sheet, right? And because that happens, in your mind, you can't help but think, either A, I'm getting too much resistance, they don't want to drive and I can't show them the car, they've already seen it, they've been to 4 other places and all the stuff, right? Or it's just straight laziness. You know what? Don't worry about it. Come on. Let's go. Let's get the numbers, right? We'll make the numbers work for you. So, again, if you're talking about making a commitment to make more money and changing behaviors, if you're going to change your behavior, you got to change your belief system about how you're handling these customers because there's money to be made, and I'm not just talking about COVID money, right? Where you just had one blue, one red. Which one you want, sir? It's 10 grand over. Those days are done, right? So you're going to have to move beyond that. Now we've got to get back in the car business and figure this deal out, okay? So what I want to remind you of is if you're in the middle of a demonstration and a presentation with a customer, test drive situation, I'm going to ask you individually, how many times do you do one a day? How many test drives do you get a day? If you had to average it, honest and truly.
2, 3.
2, 3, right? If you're lucky. I'm not at your store, but I would challenge that because 2, 3 means you're doing somewhere between 15 to 18 in a week, right? So 15 to 18 means that you're probably doing somewhere between 35 and 40 every 2 weeks, or almost 80 in a month, which tells me you're probably getting 80 ups a month, and most people aren't getting 80 ups in a month, right? Right. So my point is like if we really look at it and say, well, if I average, maybe 1. So with that being said, and I hope I'm wrong, maybe you get 2 a day. I want you to get 2 or 3 a day, right? We got to bring people in, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But my point is, if it's only 1 or 2, that means 2 freaking times a day you freaking put on your hard hat. This is what I do for a living. The cop gets in his cop car, parks at the corner, does his traffic violations, sits on the side of the road. That's what he does. Or he's got to work the late shift. The construction worker, he's doing his labor, handling the drywall, go and pick up the paint. This is what you do. You are there to show and demonstrate a product every single day. And we fight that. It's our job, but we fight that. Don't know why, don't know how, but we do it. So my point is, you've got 1 to 2 times a day, man, it's your best freaking Mel Gibson. You are on fire, right? Here's what I want you to understand. If you assume in your mind everybody's buying, number one, you're not lying to yourself, because they are buying. It may not be from you, and it may not be today, but they are buying, right, at some point. So you just got to put your best foot forward and make sure that you do everything you possibly can, okay? Pick out a few features to nail, get good at it, all right? And then obviously you tailor your presentation to your customer. You guys already know that through the needs assessment. If safety is important, that's what we're going to do. Now, these are nothing you've never not heard. We've all heard this, right? So again, just touching that, but we're moving on to what I think is probably more important than anything when it comes to the steps of the sale, and that's the write-up. And the reason why I want to just touch the write-up is because the write-up is the math of the equation. It's the math. So if we're working with math typically has certainties, right? 2 plus 2 is what? It's 4 every time. That's what math is, right? So we're getting to math. So what I want you to understand is the process and the part of the deal is of writing the deal up. This is critical because if I can outwrite you, I'll end up outselling you. If I can get more people to a write-up. So if there's anybody in your store stopping you from a write-up, I would get with your general manager, in my opinion. That's my opinion. He may agree with it. But anything prohibiting you to write the customer up, which means the customer's not ready to buy, they're going to shop me on price. Hello, what do you think they're doing now? That's part of the process. It's our job to sell them. It's our job to convince, persuade, and motivate to do something today. And if they walk out of there and we didn't, guess what? Who got sold? Them or us? They got us. They got us to believe they ain't doing anything today. And they may not. But the fact of the matter is, you got a 30% chance of getting them back in your store. Remember that number. If you up 10 people and they all leave, 30% come back at the highest. 33% is the exact number. And of B back, 65% close. If you get a B back in, you got a good shot. But think about it. If you have 10 customers, only 3 are coming back in. All right? So, back to the math. If I got salesperson over here, A, who's the best closer in the building, he writes up 10 customers. I'm brand new. I'm dumb and silly, but I write up 100. He's the man. He closes at 45-50% close ratio. So he's getting 4.5 to 5 cars out of his 10 customers. That's the math he can get. He's that good. I got 100 and I'm brand new. Do you think I'm probably going to outsell his 4 or 5 cars with 100 write-ups with help of staff and management and everybody? Of course I am. It's the math. So if you can understand this, when I go from handshake to taillights, handshake to delivery, that's where I'm going in my mind. Handshake. And now I'm trying to transition into the dealership to get to an exciting demonstration presentation to close the deal, which I got to write up the deal. Okay. I understand that the most critical part is if a write-up doesn't happen, you have 0 mathematical chance to sell the car. If the write-up happens, you've got a 50-50 shot. Here's the number. It's either yes or it's no. Right? And we're going to talk about presenting numbers because I wouldn't want to present a yes or no number, right? Because it's too damn easy. It's yes or no, right? I want McDonald's. I want options. I want this one, this one, this one, or this one. Which one would you choose? Does that make sense? All right. So writing up the deal is important. So I would definitely analyze it in your book. You can see the reasons why write-ups don't happen. I would look at that and find out, okay, is that happening in my store? Is that true? Do I do that? Okay. 90% of the time, it's self-inflicted. We think we're wasting our time. If I think I'm wasting my time, I'm kicking you to the curb, man. It's the bottom line. You ain't buying today, let me find somebody that will. But you have to realize this customers are too hard to come by nowadays. It's a different deal. It's a different deal. You know, and even if you're at a store selling 500 cars a month, they got 63 salespeople on staff. The math is still 9 a man, 10 a man. Doesn't matter how you slice it. But you got to get better, right? And you got to get people written up. All right, this right here is single-handedly something that's going to help you guys get to 30, 40, 50 cars a month. This is it. This is it. So clue into this right here. If you could start this and start working through this, you'll see what I'm going to say. You'll understand what I'm saying. So here's the first thing I want you to understand is you live and die by 7 days. 7 days. In other words, the first 7 days of the month, the next 7 days of the month, the third 7 days of the month, and the last 7 days, which is really about 10 days of the month. But you still break it into 7. And the reason why you do that is because most of us, when we have a goal for 30 days, goal's 20 cars. So if we got out 6.5 by the 15th, we feeling kind of shitty. Like, damn, like I can't get to 20. The goal's gone. There ain't no way I can get there. Now I just got to fight my ass off to get to 15. Right? That's what you think. Like, at least got to get to 15. We do that as dealer principals or GMs, right, Bootsy? Right? Number's 200. Right? At the midway point, we got to be at 100. We're at 61. God dang. I got to get to at least 185. If I don't get there, what have we done? What's it about? Mindset, skill sets, habits. Mindset's gone. Already dropped your number. It's a psychological thing. You dropped your number. And then you drop your number, you start dropping habits. Right? So the first thing is you live and die by 7 days. Period. Now, what do we live and die, right? So the first thing you have to do is you got to see in your mind's eye what's your number. Now I say 40. I don't know what you say, but here's an example of my goal sheet. You can see it from afar, and you've got a copy in your book. It's the second page behind Law of 7. Go one more. I'm going to come back to those KPIs because that's another thing that's important. You should have 3 total. All right. So all this is your goals broken down 7 day windows. So every month you make a new copy of this. You do your goal sheet. Okay. You write your goal sheet out. You take your 7 days. Start off. The first is actually a Thursday. Then boom, run it down. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You may be closed on Sunday. You may be open, but you're off on Sundays. The first thing you're going to identify is how many cars am I going to sell every 7 days? Again, if I tell you in 30, guess what you're thinking? Oh, 15. I need 15 for the month. Well, now if I say, well, how many are you going to sell in 7? You go, shit, I can sell. Shit, I can do 3, 4, probably. I can probably do 3 or 4. Okay, so what's 3 or 4 cars in a month? Right? I mean, you quickly, putting together 18 to 25. Right? 18 to 22 cars that fast. So conceptually, you can see 3 to 4, but if we push a little bit and go 5, now all of a sudden we're sitting at 28, depending on how many days are in the month. So go back to what I did, sharing you my experience. Take it for what it's worth. My goal was 10. My goal was 10 cars every single 7 days. 10 cars. Amongst everybody else in the dealership telling me, come on, man, you're so young. I remember when I clear as bell, I was 20 years old, 21 years old. I remember clearly just, they pat you on the head. They were so cute. You're so energetic. How you going to sell? Man, listen, all I knew is it was a form of almost brainwashing my head. I just was like, dude, I'm a 7 day window. I'm trying to sell 10 cars. And what I found is I didn't hit 10 every time. Okay. But what I did find is I would hit 8, 7.5, 9.5. 1 week, I remember July 1997, never forget that, July 4th weekend, 1997, that 3 day window, I sold like 17 cars. 3 days. Again, it's all momentum. It's all, but you got to first see it. To me, when I would put 10 cars down, I could do the math in my head. There's 7 days in a week. Okay, I would need at least 1 day off, but you know what? I'm going to work that day off. I'm working. Now remember, I was 20 years old. So I didn't, the responsibilities were lighter, right? But at the same time, but then all of a sudden, again, if you notice in this particular goal, if I got 6 my first week, 7 the second week, I'm sitting on 13 cars, I'm still tracking 29. So how nice would it be to be tracking 29 cars at the 15th versus 11? Just psychologically, mentally, how are you feeling? And then if you do the math portion of it side by side, in other words, you take your last 90 days worth of commissions. How much money did I make? How much bonus money did I make? Everything together. Throw it in a pot. How many cars did I sell? Divide the two. I average $493 a car. That's how much I make per car. Last 90-day average. I take $493. I multiply that times 40 cars. Hello, that's 17 grand, 18 grand. That'd be nice. 40 cars, 18 grand, I'll take it. right? Oh, you fell short. You got 33 cars at 493. So you only made 15.1. Okay, all right. It's not where I wanted to be, but it's better than where I was 2 months ago. Does that make sense? That's the first part. That's just seeing it. Okay, that's just seeing it. So you got one of these in your workbook. All right, so you need to make some copies of it so you can like put that together. So that's the first part, is actually charting the course. The second part, and this is where the work comes in. All right, so if I'm going to tell you we're going to sell 10 cars in a week, somebody tell me by the math, because I'm all about the math, right? If we take a calculator, Taurus, and I say, punch in 4 plus 4, and it comes out 7. Would you say the calculator's broke? Right? You'd say, well, 4 plus 4 should be 8. The calculator's broke. Calculator's not broken. The programming of the calculator is broken. Does that make sense? It's not programmed properly, right? And that's the same thing with you and I every single day. Our programming is what's fucked up. It's how we think, right? We got the tools. We know how to do what we're supposed to do. It's not a knowing problem. It's a doing problem. I'm about to break something down that you're going to go, yep, Ooh, a lot of work. I don't know if I want to do that. You don't want to sell 40 cars. You don't want to begin your quest to sell 40 to have an opportunity to sell 60. That's what it is, right? So let's go through it. So you got to measure your KPIs. What are those? Here we go. This is every 7 days. How many total ups did I have? How many appointments did I set? How many appointments did I set show? How many appointments did I set show that closed? How many needs assessments did I do today? How many service customers did I talk to today? How many personal prospects have I reached out today? How many times did I touch the desk with a car deal? How many early manager intros did I get today? How many demonstrations did I do? How many presentations did I do? How many write-ups? How many deals did I close? How many people did I walk through the service department? And how many Facebook posts did I do today? Now, if you think about it, and now remember, on your second page there's phone calls. All right, the list is a little longer. All right, you're tracking one solid week of activities that create car deals. Now, do you think for a moment, if you actually wrote down at the end of the day, before you checked out, go back to your day, how many ups did I get, how many appointments, how many no-showed, how many demo drive, and you track your stuff, do you think you would get a better understanding of your business, where your holes are at? All right, so here's what's so exciting. So I would track this, same exact stuff, and every single week that I would sell 6.5, I go right back to my log and go, ah, dang, man, I talked to 0 people in service line. I know I talked to somebody. It says 0. I didn't talk to 1 service customer. And out of my appointments, I only had 1 appointment today. I had 6 appointments this week. That's messed up, because last week I had 17 appointments. In other 17, I had 9 show and I had 5 sold. This week I had 7 and 1 sold. That's 4 deals. There's my 10. It's not rocket science, man. You're starting to see your business. You're a business within a business. You're seeing holes, demos. I only took 1 demo drive this week. That ain't right. I had 7 customers. Yeah, lazy ass. You took 1 person on a demo. You had 7, but you took 1 on a demo. And you sold 4 cars. How are you going to sell 4 cars in demo 1? Is it possible to sell a car without a demo? Of course it is. We've all done it. That's why the skip was skipped. What I'm telling you is, and here's my next thinking too, like when I think about salespeople that want to be managers, dude, if I'm a manager, I am all in their ass about they need to be making sure my guys know checking that, because as a manager, they should be looking at how many appointments we have this week, how many cars we got sold, how many demos we do. Right? You know what I'm saying? It's the same stuff. Nothing changes, but here's where it's beautiful. I can walk into anybody's dealership in the country and say, hey, show me your KPI sheet. Who's measuring it? Where's your one-on-ones? Where's your coaching sheets? I could go through various things and they look at me like, we don't do that. I could go to a general manager. I've done it several times. I can go to a general manager and say, let me ask you a question. Where's your notes from last week's manager meeting? What notes? Well, you know, every Monday or whatever day you select, your parts manager, service manager, comptroller, you know, sales manager, internet manager, finance director, everybody's in you get them together every week, right? Go through your numbers and you got an agenda and a vision for that week and you course correct every week, right? At the beginning of the week, you talk about the prior week and what goals you have. Where are your notes from last week? I don't meet my managers once a week. Tiny, small, little things. Tiny. If I'm operating a store, you damn right we got a manager meeting. You damn right we do. In fact, not only do we have a manager meeting, if Jacoby was one of my managers It's my job and duty that after about, 8 or 9 meetings, guess what, Jacoby? Next week, the manager meeting, guess who's hosting it? You are. Well, I don't know how to do it. Oh, yes, you do. You've been in many of them. Handle it. I'm here to help you. If you got any questions, let me know, but you run in the meeting. And I sit right in the meeting, and Jacoby runs it. Why would I want to do that as a general manager? Because I'm growing my people. You know how many times I bought my manager's books, and before we conclude every manager meeting, we just read a chapter, and then we discuss it for about 5 minutes. I know they weren't reading. Hell, it was hard for me to read. Forced me to read. It took us 20 minutes, 18 minutes to read a chapter of a John Maxwell book, a leadership book. It didn't really matter. Trying to grow my people, right? Trying to grow my salespeople, trying to grow my technicians. This is little tiny stuff. This stuff right here, the law of 7, it's crazy. It's crazy right here. This is stuff that there's just not a lot. There's some solid car guys that get it. They treat their business like a business. But at the end of the day, most people don't do this. And when you want to go from 4 cars or 3 cars in a week, if you're selling 12 cars, you're not selling but 3 cars in a week. You know? I mean, you got to start thinking like 3 cars. Man, I could sell 5 or 7 cars in a week. Tell me you can't sell 5. Tell me you can't sell 5 or 7 cars in a week. Now, forget Louie's crazy 10 cars a week. Okay, maybe your mindset can't see that yet. I'll deal with that. But 5, 6, or 7? I mean, I don't have my calculator, but let's just take 5.5 cars times 52 weeks. Shit, what's that math? 250 cars? 255 cars? Divided by 12? Shit, 27 cars a month? That dog will hunt. 500 a car? $9,000 a month? What's $9,000? 108,000? 109,000 a year? I don't know. So, law of 7, very, very powerful tool. You got the 1 week where you keep track, and the next one is where you transfer this 1 week's information onto the monthly information. So if you look at the sheets, you'll have 4 weeks on one page. Each week is transferred by 1 week of this page. This is your 1 week. Every week I do one of these. Make copies, one of these. I take it, transfer it to the big log. The big log is all 4 weeks of the month where I can add it all up, cost average it, and see exactly where my highs and my lows are so I can isolate. So when instead of a manager going, you ain't selling enough cars, you say, look, let me tell you why I ain't selling enough cars. Here's my log. Here's this. He's going to look at you like, damn, you track all? Yeah, I track all that. Absolutely. Do you not track it for the store? Oh, you don't? I want your job. And that's how you go from sales to sales manager, because you understand the business. Because most sales managers are just good closers, or thought they were good closers at one point, or sold a lot of cars. They're still not great car men yet. Basic fundamentals. Does that make sense? All right. So let me make sure I didn't miss anything on that. Yeah, you got to cover your KPIs. So the law of 7, that's a huge, huge piece. And I want you guys to make sure you take that and implement that. It takes a real beast to implement that. Now, Bootsy, what I would tell you from a store's perspective, this is my opinion, and you and I can work together. I can help you any way I possibly can. I take the whole store's number, whatever your big number is, January 1st, whatever the big number is, and I go by 7 days. It's on the board. Everybody can see it. I tell everybody, we live and die by 7 days, guys. No longer is it 30. 30-day number is X, but every 7 days, this is what we're going for. And hell or high water, we've got to get 61 cars this week, or 49 cars, or 32 cars, whatever that number is. And you'll realize it ain't as hard as you think. Because when you start doing the math going, wait a minute, my number's 110 cars. My number's 110 cars a month, or 110 this month. So really and truly, that's 29 cars this week. That's all I got to sell. And then you got 8 salespeople, and they all selling, whatever the math is. You'll start. It gets quite staggering to see that your number, and then you'll fill the board up and actually go beyond it. So again, and then the KPIs got to be measured. And again, especially like in a store like yours, it's tough to handle it all. You got to have that help. Make sure they're doing what they need to be doing. So okay. So now let's talk about the law of separation. Go back to, I don't know, is the pages numbered? Are you at law of separation?
Yes.
Okay, so if I had 2 secrets that I could share with car guys, it'd be the law of 7 and it'd be the law of separation. Okay? So the separation basically stems from Emerson's law of compensation. right? And that just basically says you give more service than wage paid, and wages come back tenfold. Well, actually, if you think about it, it's kind of biblical, right? Y'all heard of sowing and reaping? Kind of same concept. You sow, you reap what you sow. Same thing. But Emerson's law of compensation specifically states that you literally give more service rendered than wage paid. This would be equivalent to, I would say, I'm trying to get my son to work. My son's 14 years old, let's just say. I got a 14-year-old, actually. And I want to get him to work. And I say, look, here's what I need. I need you to get some work ethic, man, and understand kind of how these things work. So what I need you to do is I need you to go prospect Publix. And if that doesn't work, we'll find another establishment, and just tell them that you want to learn the values of work. And basically, you don't need to pay me. You don't need to pay me a penny. But when you go there, bust your ass, do what you're supposed to do, be there early, stay a little late if you have to, but make sure, beyond a shadow of a doubt, they know who you are from your work ethic. Are we clear? And you don't want a penny. Okay. Obviously with laws, labor laws, 14-year-old can't do that. My point is simply this. If you got a sales manager, let's say, Boots, you got a guy that's been out of the business a long time. He's like, Boots, I need help. I need help, bro. I mean, I'm good at what I do. I need help, man. Man, I ain't got no spots for you. I ain't got no spot. Bro, I'll work for free. You pay me if you think I'm worth something. Give me 30 days. Give me 30 days. I'll show up, post up, and do what I got to do. That individual, that particular person who makes that claim, promise you, he's fixing to burn the lights out. If a man's willing to work for nothing with the confidence to know he can do something, watch out. Does that make sense? It's the old play like a rookie concept, right? Like I always wanted to be an NFL football player. So bad. And if I ever made it to that level, and it was my rookie year, you don't think in my head the old Eminem got one shot, one opportunity here, but you play like a rookie. It's like we play with all out abandonment. We just like, I'll bite your face, like whatever. It's like whatever. It didn't matter. It's that mindset. It's that attitude, right? That's the law of separation. The law of separation is you give more service rendered than wage paid, and wages come back tenfold. So let me show you what this looks like in the car world. For me, this is what it looked like for me in the car business. When I was able to become a sales manager and I made the decision, remember the root word decision? You cut off all opportunities. Decision that I wanted to own a store. That's what I wanted to do. As foolish as it may have sounded. I knew that anything anybody could do, if they did it better than I would, I'd be behind the 8 ball. So number one, I had to be willing to do it. Number two, I had to develop the talent to get it done. So as a sales manager, there are certain responsibilities we have as a sales manager. Back in the day, we didn't have e-leads or dealer socket or bin solution. We didn't have any of that. We had logs. Pages, logs, and these logs basically, at least in my store when I grew up with the Southern group, we had pink, yellow, green, blue. They all meant something. So if the dealer principal walked around and saw a blank log, we had a problem. If he saw a log that was filled out and had no highlights, we had a problem. And when I say we had a problem, like in those days, like you got fired. Like people had balls back then. Like they would like really fire you like that quick. I don't know what the deal is nowadays. We nice. They So what I realized then is you can relate to this because you're on the sales floor, because it's no different than the management staff. I knew when I would see my counterparts, my managers, they were lazy. Fucking lazy. Like, and I was a young guy, and they're paying me $6,000 a month, sit on the desk next to a guy making $13,000, $14,000 because he's been doing it 25 years. And I knew that, right? And I'd be like, okay, I see how this works, right? So my agenda was real simple. I love you, you my boy, and I love you, you my boy. And I don't want to make you look bad. I don't make you look bad, but I'm getting to roast all y'all. So anybody who's ordering the cars, I'll do it. Anybody we're not doing any sales training in the store, I'll do it. I'll get it structured. I'll have handouts. I'll do it once a week. I'll do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It didn't matter. We didn't have BDCs back then. Who's verifying the appointments every day? I got it. No big deal. Who's getting off the desk to talk to customers? Oh, y'all so old, you don't even know how to go talk to people anymore? I got it. No problem. What I did physically in my brain, every segment, law of separation, more service rendered than the money I was getting, banking on the fact that one day, good Lord, He's going to open the doors. And as I was 32 in my partnership and 35 in my first store that I bought, some of the very same guys that were next to me looking for jobs. Law of separation. Anything and everything you can do to separate yourself, which most of it's work ethic, very little of it's talent. And if it's talent, it can be learned. Does that make sense? Law of separation. Law of separation. Go back to, you want to be a manager one day. In this circumstance, we're talking about salespeople. But even if you want to be a great salesperson or you want to be a manager one day, these KPIs, hey, salespeople, I'm telling you, if you got a desire to move into the next level, I mean, Bootsy's the GM that's in the room with us here. Most sales managers don't even watch these numbers. They don't even look at them. And if they look at it from a sales perspective, they damn sure don't look at it from the internet. Because I can break down a whole bunch of internet KPIs, sources, sub-sources, where they come from, vanity numbers, who's tracking, what's going on, what's the close ratio, how many leads we got, of the leads, how many of those were old cars, how many of those cars were $39.99 or below cars, did we take those out of the equation, what's our true number? The list goes on and on and on and on of tracking. But again, if you want to separate yourself and you're like, I'm a good salesperson, number one, if you want to grow in the car business, you got to have the law of separation. You got to sell 40 cars or damn close where people go, whoo, he's a man. You got to be the best closer. You got to be the most respectful, the best CSI, the guy that shows up early, stays late, one of the best team players. That's where a manager goes, I'm moving that guy up. Shit, and if I ain't got a spot for him here, if I go somewhere else, he's coming with me because I'm going to train him. Why are you going to train him? Because you see something in him because he's separating himself. Does that make sense? Law of separation. Single-handedly, I have never taught this to anybody other than it's written in my book back in 2016. I'm telling you, I lived it, so I know it works. If you become and you separate yourself, you will be compensated. All right? But the universe does not, the universe is not going to cheat you one way or the other. You can't act like you're going to put it in and don't and think you get rewarded. It don't work that way either. Right? You can't cheat what, that universal law, God, it all comes back around. If you put in the time, you genuinely have a good heart doing the right thing, and you're willing to work for less wage, because basically you doing all these extra things may not pay you right away as a salesperson. May not pay you right away. 60 days, 90 days. And that's where people get like, oh, I ain't getting paid for that. I ain't doing it. That's the problem, man. That's the problem. To me, that's like sick to my stomach a problem. If you're willing to put it in, you ought to look at another man and be like, I'll do that, because I know someone else won't. Social media, let's talk about this for a second. Here's what I want to teach you. Let me tell you where it came from. Like I shared with you earlier, my store had to buy back some car deals, okay? So I made an agreement to go ahead and pay one of the lenders back, or some deals that had to get repurchased over a 2-year period. Cost me a lot of money, therefore the money I was making was all going to them basically, and I had to be really tight and watch what I do. All right, don't mind being transparent, that's what it was, no big deal. Handled the business, took care of business, paid everything off, whatever the case may be, but in the interim, it was a struggle. Because as you can imagine, probably with my personality, I was a promoter. I liked the TV, the radio. I like promotions. I had to figure a different way of doing it. So social media was the only way I had. So what I'm teaching you is what I did. You have 2 ways going about this. You have what's called pay for ads, and you have just organic, right? So you can boost an ad, or you can actually have an ad manager, an ad campaign. We're going to go through both of them. But here's what I want to share with you. If you want to sell an extra, I'm saying from a salesperson's perspective, if you want to sell an extra 5 to 8 cars a month, okay, you're going to get the leads to do so. You're going to need the inventory, the management power to help you put car deals together, right? And whatever your message is, they're going to have to be on the same page with you, okay? The same stuff that I do with Facebook events is the same stuff that I'm getting ready to teach you guys that you could do. And like in your store, Bootsy, you guys got some serious creative stuff. I wish G was here too. I mean, you guys have some serious creative stuff that you guys could put some stuff together and have some fun with it. And I'm going to hit you with some things that I think you definitely can take away. But let's talk about the whole deal about social media. We're going to stick with Facebook because that's what I used primarily when I was in the store. But you got Instagram, you've got TikTok, which is huge. I don't use TikTok, but you got it. I hear some powerful things regarding TikTok in the sense of the videos that gain attention there. Like you could be a first time guy, and if it gets going, it's based on basically interest level of the consumer, and they blow the stuff up. So where other sources take a little bit longer, the algorithms to kick in. But I would just want to mention the first thing is engagement. So if you're going the social media route, and why it's important is when people interact with you, it's important for you to take time to interact back with them. Now, obviously, they can interact with you direct messaging you. They can, comment on your wall or your page or whatever the case may be. And I'm going to show you what I think is important. But I would suggest you stick with one medium first, right? Because there's obviously LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. I'm going to go through Facebook, but I think you pick one medium and you learn it, you practice it, you study it to be great at it, right? Because otherwise, there's other things that like we do that Winnie does for me with Hootsuite. I don't know anything about that. Not that I can't, right? But I'm saying there's a better way to skin the cat. But if you're an individual guy trying to make more money, all you need is leads. Does that make sense? Let me tell you why I think social media is important for you guys. Your manager comes to you every single day and says, I need you to work your planner. Did you get your organizer done? And you're like, I beat up the organizer for 3 days. Ain't nobody called me back and there ain't nobody new. Does that sound familiar? Right? So if that's the deal and everyone's going through, that means you need new people in the pipeline. So you have two choices to do that. Right? You got social media, you got the service department, your own particular prospecting or referrals. Right? That's it. Otherwise, it's whatever drive-by traffic you got. All right. So again, we're going to talk about a starting point for social media. All of this is also in your book. You should be able to see it. The first thing you want to do is you want to create your business page. Not hard. It's been a long time since I've done it because I've had help doing it. But you can Google it. But basically, on your Facebook page, you're going to select you want to create another page, a business page. Right? You put your description, you put your picture, you put, all this stuff about, a catchy name, what you're going to call yourself. And those things are vital. But I would not suggest that you take your personal page and make it your page that you're going to promote. All right? Create a business page. When you have a business page, you can also track your KPIs on if you choose to spend money or boost an ad. Okay? So it keeps track of all that stuff. But basically, you want to add your bio. And again, as a salesperson, I go back to one other thing. Like I'm a business owner and I'm on social media, right? So my thing is I need to let people know what I do and where I'm at and how to contact me. What I do, where I'm at and how to contact me. How I can help them, right? It's no different. You guys sell cars to everybody in the marketplace. We got to go at it just a little different approach. Right? Because you want to make sure this, the old theory is kind of a jab, jab, hook. If everything you do every single time is always about selling something to somebody and there's not an approach where, there's soften them up, you give them a little jab, you soften them up, and then you come in for the hook, right? And so we're going to put something together for you on that. All right, starting point, social media. So here's what I want you to consider. You have to be the market's expert, enthusiast. I'll give an example. You are now in you're doing your deal, social media. You want people to know you for something. Okay? So you're with Ford, maybe you got, I don't know, you do your tagline is, my name's Louie, and you're standing next to a car. My name's Louie, and you open up a car door and we say, look, we open up opportunities, we constantly open up opportunities for your automotive needs, and you're opening a door, right? I'm the guy that opens up opportunities. Call me, whatever. You got to come up with something that's kind of catchy, but you're the expert. So in other words, if it has something to do with interest rates, if it has something to do with money, when it has something to do with trade-ins, when it has something to do with depreciation, you got to know something about it. So by having some relevant content, giving customers some information they're not used to hearing from a car person, all you got to do is study a little bit. All you got to do every single day, and I make it easy because I'm going to give you a calendar and a schedule to work with. It's in the book, okay? But I'm going to give that to you. But in the event that you don't, you literally can say, Google, tell me about depreciation in the automotive world right now, right? Boom, it spits something out. Or write this down, chat GPT in the question, just say, chat, will you write me a Facebook post or will you explain to me the depreciation in the automotive market in 2023? Enter. And it's going to spit you out anything you need. That's AI. Okay? Take that, copy, paste, print it, look at it, bullet point it, okay? It's a lot of stuff there. I'm going to talk about 2 points. Bam. Next thing you know, on Facebook, you hit live. Hey guys, this is Louie down at ABC Nissan. Just want to say hey to you today, man. I read an article that I thought may be interesting to you, so I thought I would share it with you, man. It's about depreciation. Did you know that 63% blah, 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 blah. Am I trying to sell them a car? No. Just dropping knowledge, man. I'm giving. Just giving. Just keep giving. There's a time where I'm going to ask them for some business. Now's not the time. Does that make sense? Right? Again, we're just slowly working on gaining some awareness in the marketplace and figuring this deal out. So the goal is jab, jab, hook, jab, jab, hook. Again, you want to become the expert, which means you're going to tell them something about service, parts, accessories. You're going to tell them, again, you're going to find reasons where it's not just about selling the car. Does that make sense? Here we go. Hey guys, I got my proverbial phone up, man. I'm doing my live. Hey guys, and some of you may not want to be on the video. We'll get into that in a second. Hey, this is Louie down at, Vidalia Ford. Just want to let you know we're right across from the hospital. We got great guys here, but I'm walking you back to the service department real quick. I know you always hear me talking about selling cars, but I want to walk you back to the service department. I talked to my service manager today. He said he's doing 1995 oil changes. That is synthetic, conventional, and synthetic blend. Again, if you got full synthetic, we're going to work with you as well. But do me a favor, DM me directly if you're due for an oil change. I may not have sold you the car, but if I can help you, that's what I do. My name is Louie down here at Vidalia Ford. Have a great day. Click. Boom. I ain't sold him nothing. I ain't got nothing from him, but I'm going to set up an appointment for him. Hear me out. Back in the day, and I'm going to wrap it to that point. Back in the day, I would make a point to call my sold customers, invite them to lunch, but I didn't have any money. So I'd call them around 2:30, 3 o'clock. You know why I did?
There it is.
About 8. Hey, Miss Johnson, what's up, man? It's Louie. Hey, I'm getting ready to go to lunch, man. I've been working, hadn't stopped yet. Just want to know if I can take you to lunch or maybe drop some lunch off to you. How you doing? Can we get together or what are you thinking? Man, I already ate. Okay, well, listen, would you mind if I call you in the future in the event that I want to take you to lunch? Perfect. Awesome. All right, well, listen, if you know anybody in the market for a car, let me know. You know I'd love to help them. How's your car doing? It was good? Having a conversation. Have a great day. Click. Right? So, what am I doing? Nah, if they said, I'm getting me a pizza. Order me a pizza. Oh, great. You like Domino's or you like Pizza Hut? Whatever. And you just do what you got to do. But for me to get on social media and say, hey, this is Louie down at Vidalia Ford or Lake City Kia, and I just wanted you to know, I talked to my service director. He's giving out great deals on oil changes. Synthetic blends, only $18.93. Hey, I may not have sold you a car. I may not even know who you are, but I love people and I love my company. And if I can help set an appointment, DM me right now. I'll get you set up, make sure your cars get in, and I'll even make sure it gets cleaned. Again, my name is Louie. If I can help you in any way, I hope you have an awesome, incredible day. Take advantage of that oil change special. Click. If I get 3 people or none, how many people have heard that message? More than 3? More than none? You're damn right. If someone calls me, will I set up the oil change for them? In a heartbeat. 1,000%. That may be me walking over to Johnny, the service writer. Hey, I got 3 leads, buddy. Call these guys right quick. Let's get them in for the oil change. I put $18.93 out there for you. Call them back. Give me 10 minutes if you haven't called them. Let me know, and I'll call them right back. When can I get them in? What's your appointment say? Does that make sense? You got to be tentacles. Social media gives you tentacles. It gives you frequency. It gives you views. It gives you awareness. It gives you, I used to have this thing where when I would advertise in the marketplace for cars between TV and radio, I'd spend $100,000 a month. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, you spend a lot. Yep, we did. Raise the numbers, all that kind of stuff. But eventually the goal was to cut the ad spend. But you can't cut the ad spend unless you start hearing people say, gosh, I hear you everywhere. You're all over the place. I see you here, you're there, you're in a movie theater. All this is by design. They don't know, but I took advertising from 85, 75, 63, 59, 48,000, and I was starting to get an attrition. I need to be right around there, but I didn't need to be at 75, 80 grand. Maybe initially, right? My point is when people start seeing you on social media, right, as a source, as an enthusiast or an expert in the automotive space, right, you develop a personality, you become a guy they want to do business with. Does that make sense? Okay? So, this is, we're going to get into some nuts and bolts of what you should post. But when I sold cars, we had what was called evidence manuals, right, Bootsy?
Yes.
Yeah, these evidence manuals on your book. You guys ever heard of those? You guys young. All right, so basically a 3-ring binder that had these little slicks, and we would ask the customer, do me a favor, would you write a little something about your experience? There was no Google, right? Or if someone sent you a card or a picture, so they would all go in these slicks. And so when a customer was buying from us, we would basically just say, hey, I'm gonna get you some figures. I'm confident we're gonna put the numbers in your favor. And while I go look at that, here's some of the customers that bought some cars from me. Got some pretty cool stuff in there. And I'd have, some articles of the brand I was with and all this testimonial stuff. But that was it. So a customer would flip through and they'd see Johnny with the kids and little Henry with the baseball cap, and they wrote you a little letter from the hospital, and Dr. Johnson was grateful for his experience. You don't have to do that anymore. Social media is kind of like your new deal, right? So now, every time you guys sell a car, you should have a testimonial. Every time. Like, it's not even hard. Like, if you think about it, when I do events, I tell the dealers that I work with, every delivery, give me a picture. Every third delivery, give me a testimonial. Whether they bought or didn't buy from the Facebook event or whatever event we got going on, give me some social proof, some data so I can post it, so I can get other people aware that y'all doing some business. Does that sound hard? Simple. But if I tell you to do a picture with every one of your customers, I mean, literally, and you don't have to be great. You don't have to be great with videos. But Torres just bought a car for me, right? And I said, Jacoby, hold my phone. We're going to do a little testimonial. Torres, are you comfortable real quick? I'll ask you a couple of questions and we'll get right on and right off. Is that cool? Yeah, no problem. Whatever. Okay. Now I already know my customer's uncomfortable. So are you ready, Jacoby? Hit play. You ready? And we're sitting there. This is how it goes. This is, and as authentic as it is better as it is. And he hits go, and Jacoby gives me the old check, and I'm like, hey, this is Louie down at ABC Nissan. Just want to introduce you to Torres. Torres just bought a new 2023 Titan. Do you love it?
Yes, sir.
Tell the folks why you came down here.
Because due to the customer service, it was all good in here.
Customer service, or you had a Facebook event, or I talked to Louie, or whatever the case may be. Awesome. Listen, if you need anything, I'm here for you. Hey guys, if you want a great deal, do you feel like you got a great deal?
Yes, sir.
You got a great deal. If you need a great deal, come see me. My name is Louie. If I can help you in any way, let me know. That's it. That's it. I know it sounds like, oh my gosh, it's like, yeah, but you can, it's practice, drill, rehearse, right? It's the art and the science. What's the art? Well, here's the scripts. Get a testimonial, get a picture. That's the art. Get creative, get imaginative. Here's the science. What's the science? Do it. Yeah, but when do you stop? No, you don't. You keep doing it.
It works.
You keep doing it. Keep doing it. It does work, right?
It works.
People,
I don't know if I've seen it. Well, we do it all the time. We can't show it. We kind of almost had to do it, but
yeah.
did it yesterday. Sold 2 cars yesterday
Video.
to the same family.
Really? Yeah. I mean, video is king, man. Video is king. When I go through this with you, this is going to be like an ad agency, right? What an ad agency would do for a car dealer, all right? But I'm going to try to channel you in on what I think is most important so you can benefit the most. So the first thing you can do is you can boost an ad, okay? So what that means is basically you got a good testimonial or a good new car delivery and you want to post it. Or you did a good video for 1895 oil change that you just like, or it's getting some good traction. You want to boost the ad. You boost the ad, you pay, if you hit the boost, you pay for it, $5 a day or $5, for the next 7 days or whatever your choice is. Not a big deal, but you don't get any leads from it. You don't get any direct leads, right? They're going to see your ad, they may comment, but there's no lead submission. Where they see it, you get the name and number, you can call them and follow up with them, okay? So again, it's an awareness thing. And they're okay. Then you have what's called carousel ads. Carousel ad is basically imagery of like 3 or 5 different pictures. Typically in automotive, it's like 3 different cars or 5 different cars. The customer can scroll like this and they can land on a car. When they click on the car, boom, it takes them to your dealership's website on that VDP, on that particular car. Okay, that's pretty good, but they don't pay you nothing. If I'm boosting the ad, I'd do a carousel ad. That goes to this dealership. So how you handle that is you get what's called a landing page, which is your own page, which is very inexpensive, right? And you get a feed that takes all your inventory from the dealer's website to your landing page. So when they click on a car, if you want to do a carousel ad, it goes to a car. You can make a lead submission pop up, get the best price, put your name, your phone number, boom, now you get the name, number, and now they're using the store's inventory, but you're capturing the lead because you're paying the money, right? Then you got Instant Messenger. On Instant Messenger, that's obviously where you have the option and the right to put your ad in place, and then they direct message you. And then, but the downside with direct messaging is they don't give you a name or a number unless you get it from them. And number two, you got to be quick. You got to be fast. Like if they hit you up and you're in the middle of a car deal and you can't get to it for 30 minutes or an hour, that, not good business. All right. Video views. You can do strictly a paid advertising for just strictly getting video views. Right? When it's done, you got so many views. Again, the only advantage to that would be I had 300 video views, 100 of them watched the video in its entirety. 200 did not. So I take the 100 and retarget those people because they're hot. If someone watched my video for the whole time, they're probably not cold or a little more than warm. But again, there's no name or no number. It's hard to pay to not get a name or a number. Here's a home run ball. And I bet most people have never even heard this, but this was really successful for me, is you can import lists into Facebook. So if I'm a sales guy, and I've been in the store for 3 years, 5 years, and I'm selling 15 cars a month, 180 cars a year, got 400 cars in the pipeline, I take my list of all 400 customers, I can import that list into Facebook, put a message out to them that's going to hit them on their wall. Okay. I can also take that same list and ask Facebook, give me a lookalike audience. These are all my customers, income, wage, made, where they live, the whole nine, where they currently drive, etc. Make me a lookalike list. And they'll mirror it up. So now you get two lists that have high probability that you can probably send a message to somebody that may want to buy something. Does that make sense? All right. A lot of power. Or, hey boss, got the orphan owner list? Yeah. Can I work it? Sure you can. Can we get somebody to pull it? Yeah. How many's on there? I don't know. Dealership's been here 17 years. Probably a lot of orphan owners. Cool. Can we pull that? Get your IT guy. He pulls it. Holy shit. There's 5,000. Import it. Now you got 5,000. Now you create a lookalike list. Now you got 10. See how it can compound? But we sitting around like we can't sell no cars, man. We waiting on people to. There's a lot of ways to skin the cat, right? The best way is the last way is called lead generation. The thing I like about lead generation is you place the ad. Once you place the ad, for the customer to move forward, and at the very end, I'm going to show you how to put your own ad together. We're going to walk through it, okay? But with lead gen, they click to one of the last pages, and all their information they input to Facebook about themselves, that hopefully is accurate. Typically it is. Like you got to give your cell phone number or a cell phone and your email. Some email is typically right. Some have bogus, but all that transfers over. So when a customer is interested in what you have, they just hit confirm. They don't have to type anything because what the stats show is 65% of everybody that's going to purchase something or buy something, if they have to load all their stuff in, they're like, I don't want to mess with that. But if all my stuff transferred over, I'm like, oh shit, it's all in there. Oh shit, even my credit card's in there. How'd they get? Well, okay, confirm, right? And then you get sucked into freaking buying something you probably shouldn't because it was too damn easy, right? So that's lead gen. Any questions on the type of campaigns? It's all in your book. It's all in your book. You all got my number, right? I mean, this is just cutting tight on time. We're an hour and 10 minutes. So I know some of this is going to be like, but it's teaching me what I can and what I can't cover and for how much, but I don't want to leave you hanging. Any questions on the type of ads, right? You can boost one, right? You can boost one. You can do a carousel ad. You can do a lead gen ad. You can import lists. And that's one maybe we want to talk about for you, because that's probably a no-brainer actually. And that's something you could do aside from like my company of doing staffed events or Facebook events. So, all right, well we're not done. So let's talk about what you post. All right. So just like I'm mentioning here is you want to interrupt some patterns, right? So I've given you guys in your thing. Look at the very end, I believe it is. Is that where the 31 day? Mm-hmm. Did you guys get this? There should be, huh? Yep. Okay, go to this page real quick. So what we just went over was paid ads. That's fine, and I'd love for you to do that. But I want to just kind of wet the whistle and get you started. Yep, that's it right there. So here's what I need you to do. So towards the very end. So if you notice here, I can't make it any easier for you guys. Okay. Once again, I wish I can tell you that I had you in mind when I put this together, but I had to corral my own thoughts. And one of the things that keeps me currently when we do videos together today, if I don't have kind of like a whole kind of plan in place a little bit, I get a little bit. I'm still okay, but I need to know what I'm going to go through, right? So even when I did this for the store, I had to think about what was my jab, what was my jab, what was my hook, what was my jab, what was my jab, what was my hook. Because remember, I was the face of the dealership at the Chrysler dealership. You know, I was Louie Herron, I was the face, or whatever the case may be. I couldn't just come at them every day and be like, hey, you want to buy a car? Hey, here's what I'll give you a great deal. It wasn't going to work. I had to be creative enough to walk them back in the detail department and be, look, I'm doing, hey guys, Louie here, and I'd randomly go back there and figure out what I would display that I think would be important about our detail department. And by the way, you know what? If you live in Madison County, just come on down. I'll clean your car for free. Now, how many people took advantage of that? One? Most times none, but how many people heard the message that I'll detail the car for free? Because if I would have had 10, I'd have cleaned them for free. Does that make sense? So again, it's about frequency, all right, of what you do, but having a roadmap. So if you look at this roadmap, this basically has 31 days in a month. This is so simple. This is 31 days in a month. I told you if you did 1 hour a day of training, it's 5 hours a week, right? It's 300 hours in a month. You're way ahead of the game. Same thing with social media. Just post something once a day. If you posted this schedule, 31 days next month, 31 days next month, 31 days next month. No one's going to remember exactly what you said about certified cars 30 days ago. They're not going to know what the new car incentive was. But you know what they are going to remember? Is, damn, Jacoby, I see him. Man, you everywhere, Jacoby. You ever. And when they want to buy a car, has anybody in here ever been to the dealership and somebody walk in and they're buying a car and you go, damn, I went to high school with that guy, man. Hey, John, how are you? Hey, Louie, how are you? Man, good. You buying something? Yeah. Okay, cool, great. John didn't know what you did. It could be, I've even seen it with family members, cousins, because they don't know what you do. So again, there's a fine line between wearing somebody out. And here's the thing. If you didn't know this, if somebody's worn out by you on social media, you go to the right little 3 balls that are up at the top of the whatever ad you continually see, you click, boom, you don't see any more of their ads ever again. They tired of you, they'll block you, right? So they don't see your stuff. But we don't know who those people are, and once a day is not overbearing. If you got a decent message, if you're the expert, if you have something interesting, right? We have something called, any questions on this? 31 days. I could go through every single one, but I'm not. I want to cover a couple that I think are good. Here's one. If you're a salesperson, or even if you're a general manager, why couldn't you have your own podcast? Why couldn't you have your own TV show?
There's no reason.
No reason. Why wouldn't you? How many salespeople get their own TV show? Their own podcast?
I've had a podcast before.
Salespeople though. Salespeople. No. Not many. What are you doing? You want to separate yourself. Law of separation. Man, anything and everything in a credible, authentic, positive way. Not something silly, just like figure it out, right? For example, if I'm a sales guy, I would be every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Here's what I would do. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'd be the 3 cars in 3 minutes, man. 3 cars in 3 minutes. 5 cars in 5 minutes. 10 cars in 10 minutes. What does that mean? Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 2 o'clock, whatever time I do, I'm running 3 cars in 3 minutes. Which means I'm going to go to my general manager, say, boss, if you're cool, I'm going to run 3 cars through. Hey, boss, you remember the show King of Cars where the guy used to run through and he had the blue genie and had the guy there and he said the payment was going to be, would you do me a favor? Can I get like 3 payments on this car or the best price you want to put, or should I just use the internet price? You good with that? Awesome. I'm going to post it on Facebook, see if I can get some traffic. Number 1, he's going to be like, yeah, okay, good idea. Number 1. Number 2, you're the one that's getting the exposure in the deals. 3 cars, 3 minutes, 5 cars, 5 minutes. 10 cars, 10 minutes if you got stamina. You guys got some stamina? It's not what she says, huh? Right? Stamina. 10 cars, 10 minutes. All you gotta do is be prepared. So what does that look like? I may be with Jacoby, I may be with some of my guys, and be like, okay, you jump in these 2 cars, you get these 3 cars. We literally would line them up. Okay, this is what I did for my guys as the dealer principal now, because I needed attention. Line up 10 cars, 10 salespeople, and I ran it. Okay, come up, the car would come up. I'd already have inside the windshield exactly what I was going to write, so I could see what I was saying. Hey folks, got 2017 Nissan Altima. This thing's in the wrapper. Beautiful car, nice car, 32,000 miles on it. One owner car. Matter of fact, Miss Johnson owned this car before. She just traded it in. She got it upgraded to a Jeep Cherokee. Needed bigger seats for the kids. This car market price is typically $21,995. We'll do the deal for $299. I need you to DM me directly. I'll be able to take care of you. Otherwise, my cell phone number, X, text me, whatever's easier for you. Next car up. Here we go. Oh, bring the next one up. That's it, man. That's it. If you don't sound great or don't feel comfortable, that makes it real. That's when you say stuff like, hey guys, this is Louie, man. I do 3 cars in 3 minutes. This is the 3rd time I've ever done this. I'm terrible, but I'm doing the best I can, man. Y'all work with me. I'm going to give you a great deal. I know that. So don't change your channel on me because I got 3 minutes to give you 3 cars. And then boom, people can appreciate that. Does that make sense? But you've got to, again, okay, here's another thing. 3 cars, 3 minutes, 5 cars, 5 minutes, 10 cars, 10 minutes. Then you got the How to Buy a Car show. Right? I'm giving you ideas that I did, right? How to buy a car show, right? From a consumer's perspective. You may think, why would I want to tell a customer how to buy a car? Why would you not? How other way would a customer feel comfortable for you to say, hey, look, I'm in the business. I'm giving you the inside scoop. I'm in the business. I'm going to show you how to buy a car. Would you like to know how to buy a car? Right? The question is, are you skilled and talented enough to be able to sit there and start off by saying, hey, look, we got 5 questions that came in this week. We're just going to cover these 5 questions. And you do a 10-minute deal, alive. Get a little tripod, right? We got ours somewhere. You get a tripod, have it set up, get a buddy, co-host, be funny, entertaining, educating, right? And just become somebody that they want to do business with, right? Boots, you can do this all day long. All day long. In the showroom, every Friday, we're going to talk cars. That could be cars, that could be news on cars, creative tip on how to beat your best interest rate. You know, right now rates are high. Got something for you. You want to stay tuned for this week's show. People know you. Does that make sense? Yes. You guys understand the power of some social media? Here's the beautiful part. How many people in your store work in social media 31 days a month? Been doing it for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months in a row, 31 days in a row. Very few, if not none. Which means here's another law of separation opportunity. You tell me that I can do something and I can produce some results, but it's going to take a little time. And I may not get paid right away because Emerson's law says that I'm going to give a lot of service rendered with no wage paid. And I'm willing to go work for someone for free. No, I'm not. I need to get paid now. Y'all tracking with me? You can do this. You can do this, I promise. Games, contests, yeah, that's the other thing. And a lot of this stuff's in your book too. I'm trying to breeze through it so we can get to some closing. Social media questions. Let's hit some of these real quick. How many times should I post? Again, you can automate this stuff, but I would just say basically, honestly, I would stick with 31 days. I would stick with 31 days. That means on Sunday when you're off, even though you said you're going to do 10 cars in a week and you probably should be working, but I know you're going to take a day off because you can watch the football or whatever you're going to do. Even if I'm at the house with the ball cap on backwards, right? Looking all right, not like a scruff, but just like, hey guys, it's Louie, ABC Nissan. I'd like to give you a little thought of the day, car stuff. I love cars. I'm the car guy in town. I open the doors for opportunity for everybody getting something newer. I got to thinking this morning as a church. You know what the pastor told me? Pastor said, you know what I thought about? I just want to share it with you. Y'all have a great day. Something that simple. Can you do that authentically? Can you read something? Hey, you know what? Had something this morning. Great example. Real example. Hey guys, what's going on? Marketing my business. You guys know what I do. Just want to let you know something this morning. I had a training event. Started the day off terrible. The day was terrible. And I tried to get mad at my wife for something I should have done. Did not take complete responsibility. And they got agitated about the situation. And it's game day for me. And I thought about just saying, you know what? Hell with it. But you know what I didn't do? Here's what I didn't do. Got myself together. Did this, did that. I just want to encourage you today. Man, if you got a significant other and sometimes you have each other's throat, it's going to happen. Right? Patience. Love. What does love do? It's a verb. It shows people. I just show more love. I had to do the right thing within myself. Just want to share it with you. Y'all have a great day. Go kill it. Go crush it. Is that real? Did I paraphrase kind of my experience? Not smoke and mirrors. Just tell me. I mean, that's all it really takes. And the beautiful part is most people aren't even doing anything. Nothing. Zero. Nada. Social media. So post at least once a day. How do I make a great video? Video is king. Video is king. You can do the video. Here's what I'd recommend. Do the videos of the cars and talk as you can see the service department, not your face, if you're comfortable with that. Okay, but I think it's chicken shit. You right? Think about, this sound crazy. Think about your self-esteem and your self-worth if you don't even want to look at yourself in the damn camera. You're scared of what people are going to think. And I'm not saying that at you. There are times where I'm insecure about certain things and it's like, oh, I'm not comfortable. It's true, because it's my self-worth issue. Turn the damn camera around. My name is freaking Louie. How are you? You know? I'm Louie. Here's where I work. And I'm proud to do what I do. And I want to help you out. If you need something, let me know. By the way, here's my store. Here's what we do. Right? Become the expert. But video is the king. Video is definitely the king. Definitely create content with a like or a share or a tag. Right? So again, I got these things in your notes, but what I'm telling you is every one of you, and I got to get better. I mean, I do the old subscribe and this, that, and the other, but there's some opportunities I have in my game that need to conclude every post with, hey, by the way, do me a favor, man. Not only share this with somebody, but like it. Like my page. Herron Automotive Group. Like my page. And the reason why is if you like my page, I got more content coming. Free content on how to handle, stuff from a sales manager level, dealer principal level, whether it's real estate and acquisition. Someone may want to buy a car dealership, or maybe the sales guy that's out there every day trying to make a living. I got it all for you. Once you like my page when you get a chance. Thanks. Right? I mean, again, that's what it takes. Marketing philosophy. 4-step process. The first thing I want you to realize is my marketing philosophy is you have to understand that people learn 3 different ways. This is not new. They learn audibly, visually, and kinesthetic, right? Kinesthetic people got to feel it. Got to feel it. They either got to touch it or they actually got to feel it emotionally, right? Audible people got to hear it. Visual people got to see it. Make sense? So the reason why Facebook, social media, video is so powerful is just like if this was recorded and you were watching me, would it be safe to assume at certain points through this conversation that we're having, do you feel me? Like, can you feel like some energy? Can you feel like what I'm conveying? Right, you feel that's kinesthetic, right? You're not actually physically putting something together to learn it, but you're feeling it. Audibly, you're hearing my words, and visually, you can see me. That's why videos is so important. But you got to understand the customers, how they learn, and why you want to do video and be in the video and be able to capture attention. All right, the 4-step process, and this is any marketing in my opinion, but this is what I use specifically. Okay, it was the pain. Okay, you should have this in your notes, but it's not bad to write it down again. The pain, the possibility, the path, and the call to action. And this is like, I don't want to say marketing 101, but it's pretty basic. Right? Anybody selling a product or service, you got to be a solution to what the problem is. Right? Make sense? Everybody's got a problem. That's why they're interested in your product. Belly's too big, health's not right, something's not right. It's a problem. We got to fix the problem. Right? So, and it's your job to figure out, and in our industry, it's super, super easy for the philosophy that I want to give you. But when you talk about the pain, what's the customer's pain? If you take the first thing, what is the customer's major pain with buying a car? Price, time, back forth, dealing with price, can't get a price. That's the pain. Very simple. Right? If they could buy a car without you, they would. That's why they want to do it on Carvana. That's why they, Hyundai's selling cars on Amazon. That's why, we got all this craziness going on, right? Because the consumer demand is saying, I'd rather not go to brick and mortar and shake somebody's hand. Not sure how that's going to happen, but in the meantime, that's the pain point. So when you talk about philosophy, all I want to do is hit you with the pain. It's no different than if I'm in a sales meeting with you guys, right? Listen to this. Here's a great example. I'm the general manager, and I walk in to my sales meeting, and I know our number is 200, or our number is 67 cars a week, and I know that we're tracking 149. As the dealer principal, as the general manager, I walk into to the sales meeting. The manager's there. Do you think I understand how everybody feels right now? Do you think I get everybody feels the tension? Everybody knows the number. Everybody knows we ain't there, right? So again, what's the pain? The pain is I already know my guys ain't making the money. I already know they're scared selling just to try to hit a number because the managers are pushing it. I know the commissions are lower, right? And I know there's probably been no bonuses because everybody's tight because we ain't tracking our number. So I know the pain. So what do? I come out the gate, hey guys, here's the deal. We got to change the month. Got to change the month. And if I'm in your shoes, you're probably saying to yourself, you ain't selling enough cars. You ain't making no money. You ain't got no bonuses. We ain't tracking our number. Not tracking your number. So here's what we're going to do. Well, boom. Now I'm going to show them the possibility of something different. If we do this, our number was 200 cars. But if we can get to 175, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to paint this picture for them. We're going to do this, and I'm also going to give you this. However, you got to have this caveat. I need this and this from you. Now all of a sudden I'm changing the whole dynamic because I understand the pain. I'm going to show them the new possibility, and I'm going to give them the path. Here's the path on how to get there, and then I'm going to give them the call to action. Right? Under one caveat, here's what I need from you. Starting tomorrow, I need everybody's bell to bell. Not one of you, not 5 of you. All or nothing. Everybody's in. I understand the pain and what we're all dealing with. I get it. I just painted the path. This is how we can get out of it. Here's the possibility for you, but the call to action to everybody in the room, I can't have 3 of you. I got to have all of you. So I'm going to walk out. I'm going to leave you guys to discuss amongst yourselves. If you want what I've offered, we'll put it together. If not, I'll see what I got. I'll see who I got my people. I'll walk out. Give them 5 minutes. Walk back in. All right, guys, what are we going to do? We all here, boss. We're all working bell to bell. Awesome. Good. Great job. You just put together a marketing ad. Does that make sense? Relatable to where you can see it on a day-to-day what we go through. But that's what you're looking for. The pain, the possibility, the path, which is the solution, and the call to action. You got to have a call to action. Okay? All right. So we went through that. I'm not going to beat that up. All right. Yeah, I'm going to hit this quick. All right, I'm going to give you this one here. All right, so here's I'm going to give you one. All right, so I'm going to give you one. This is probably one of my best ads. Okay, it should be in your book, but this is a stopwatch. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do the ad, and so it's going to go like this. I'm going to say, hey, how would I position this? I would say, hey guys, this is Louie down at ABC Nissan. I just want to share something with you. I've been in the automotive business 30 years. And the one thing that I find out that most people can't stand when it's time to buy a car, can't stand that it takes too long to buy one. I don't know if you feel the same way. Maybe you think you get in and get out. But one of our goals at the dealership is to get you in and out and show you there's a better way to buy a car. Not only addition of price, getting you a price in 15 minutes or less, but not being in the dealership, for less than 60 minutes. I said 60 minutes. Did you hear what I just said? 60 minutes. 60 minutes in and out. We're gonna put a deal together. I'm wearing a stopwatch. When you come into the dealership, I'm gonna have the stopwatch as well as my sales associates. I'm gonna physically give you the stopwatch so you can click the 60 minutes. If by some chance we don't deliver your car, your paperwork, tag paperwork, get the car detailed, cleaned up within 60 minutes or less, we'll make your first payment. I need you to click below, DM me now, call me now. I'll set the appointment up for you personally. Can't wait to see you. Boom, ad's done. Make sense? Okay, now the question is, how the hell do you do that? How do you deliver somebody in 60 minutes? Well, in the disclaimer or in the appointment setting process or when the customer gets here, okay, and the whole team's set up, this is exactly what I ran, by the way, okay? Sensitive to time. 15 minutes or less price, 60 minutes or less delivery, or make your first payment, okay? And it worked, big time. So how that works is when you meet the customer, everybody's wearing stopwatches. Good to see you. So let's have a seat. Let's go through the 60-minute delivery. We want to make sure we're all on the same page. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a needs assessment. We're going to find out exactly what your wants and needs and desires are. Once we discover what that is, we're going to marry it up with the piece of inventory that's perfect for you and your family for what you guys want to buy. Once we select the car, drive the car, demonstrate it, make sure it's got everything you need, we come inside and work at the figures. We got 15 minutes or less to give you figures. Once we put together the figures that work in your favor, that you agree to, at that moment, when you say yes and we say yes, I'm going to hand you the stopwatch. We got 60 minutes. From that point forward, I got to do all your paperwork. The business office got to do all your legal and tag paperwork. The detail department's got to clean your car. I got to get it gassed up, and I got to do a formal delivery, 60 minutes or less. If we don't make it, we'll make your first payment. Fair enough? So now they know that the expectation is we're going to do a needs assessment. We're going to get our questions. We're going to go find the car. We're going to touch the desk. We're going to do the things we need to do. The process starts as soon as we say, you bought it, you're good, that number, let's do business. Deal done. Does that make sense? But remember, the marketing, the advertising, to let people know we're doing a 60-minute delivery. We let them know exactly when the 60 minutes begin once we get face-to-face, but we've driven customers' attention and awareness to a pain point. It takes too damn long to buy a car, right? And if the customer loses and it takes longer than 60 minutes, did they still win if they get their first payment taken care of? Damn straight they did. I would have customers that go, oh, Louie, you got 3 minutes left, man. You going to make my payment? I'm like, damn, I know, all right. But guess what? If I don't have that stopwatch, I got a customer going, Louie, dude, you told me 5 minutes like 5 times. Am I getting out of here? That's what's going on normally. Would you agree? But now they got a stopwatch, so we're good. We're good. So all of that is in your workbook. I skipped right to the ad. I actually have the call to action, putting together your first ad. I've got it all listed for you. And I made the commitment to anybody in here just because we're short on time. I got 45 minutes. I want to go through this. I want to go through these closes with you guys because I think you're going to benefit from them. Everyone's got my contact information. Anybody wants to go to the next level with that? I'll make it happen. Selling cars in the service front. Golly, that's good too. That's some good stuff. Okay. Go to the back. Let's go selling cars out of the service department first. There should be, go right in front of the law of 7, there should be 2 ROs, 2 service ROs, and right in front of that should be a script. Okay, 2 pages in front of the ROs. Go back to the left 2 pages. You'll see that it says service power script. In the interest of time, I'm not going to go through line by line, but I've used this since 1997, so I sort of kind of got it memorized. So I kind of know it. All right, but you have it there, but I want to give it to you conceptually. So I've got a service ticket. I got a service ticket because I'm getting ready to prospect out of the service drive. Now, I could do this face-to-face. I thought I had my copies here, but all right, I don't need them. I could do this face-to-face, but the teaching and coaching is a little bit different. So I prefer to do it this way because it's less evasive, and I think you guys will actually execute it. So here's what I need you to do. You get to the dealership, and I need you to get with a service advisor and write this down. Write this down on notes. I need you to pull any car that's 3 model years old or older with less than 120,000 miles that came into the dealership in the last 7 days. Preferably you do this daily. Preferably you have a partner back there that hooks you up and you could really rock and roll. But you get my point. So what's going to happen is you're going to go to him, you're going to request that. He's going to print you off. Out of 25 customer paid tickets that came in yesterday, he's going to give you 7 tickets that fit under the qualifications of a 2020 or beyond that didn't exceed 100,020 miles. Does that make sense? So you should have some cars. So typically what are you going to find with that? That's typically repair work, right? 70, 80, 90,000, right? So what are we looking for? So if you go to the service ticket that I've got copied in there for you, you want to look at the customer's name, where they live, what kind of car they have, what year it is, the mileage on it, and what they're spending, okay? So once you analyze the service ticket, you're going to reach out to the customer. We are not calling the customer to trade their car. We are not calling the customer to upgrade to same payment. We're not doing any of the same old. We are calling to purchase their car, period, end of discussion. But we're not going to tell them we're purchasing the car immediately, okay? So me personally, I always loved, this is just me personally, I always loved when I made a call to the customer that I had the service ticket, that they were in my shop. I already know that. They didn't pick up the phone, and I leave them a message. Because the message would be very similar, like, hey, Miss Johnson, this is Louie down at ABC Nissan. Just want to let you know I'm here in the service department. I know your car was here just the other day in service. Man, I had 2 quick questions. Would you please call me as soon as you get this message? Thank you so much. 904-466-8941. Look forward to hearing from you. Click. Now, if you're a sales guy and you're calling back one of your customers that was a lead and you leave them a message similar to that, do they call you back? I mean, very, very rarely do they, like, you got to leave something special. If I had my car in the service department and somebody calls me from the service department and have questions about my car and it just left there, I'm probably pretty apt to be like, yeah, what's up? Yeah, my car was there. What's going on? Right? So the chances of a return phone call is huge. If I catch somebody cold on the phone, it's not a big deal for me, but for y'all, you're going to need some work, some experience. Still not a big deal. But if you leave a message, the message is real simple. Hey, this is Taurus calling from Roundtree Kia. Just want to let you know, I know your car was in the service department yesterday. I had 2 or 3 quick questions. If you don't mind, please call me back. It'll take 30 seconds regarding your car. Thank you so much. Here's my number. They will call you back. They call you back. Here's how the call goes. Or you get somebody on the phone. Ring, ring, ring. They pick up the phone. Hey, this is Louie down at Roundtree Kia. How are you doing? Doing great. Hey, listen, I got a couple questions about your car. Your car was in the shop yesterday. You still have the 2020 Kia Sorento, right? Absolutely. Perfect. Hey, just to clarify real quick, car's got how many miles? 34, 35? Yes. Can I ask you, has the car ever been in an accident? No, not since I had it. Oh, when you say not since you had it, did you buy it new or did you buy it used? No, I bought it brand new. Okay, perfect. So the car's got a clean Carfax. It does. Awesome. Have you done the maintenance on the car, just like by the warranty standards, every 5,000 miles you're being? Yeah. Okay. And I apologize for hitting you with all these questions. The reason why I'm calling you is because I had someone that saw your car in the service department yesterday, and they wanted me to call you to see if you'd be willing to sell us your car. Now, once I do that, the 90% of the time, the answer is going to be like, no, I'm not interested. I'm waiting for the no, I'm not interested. I'm waiting for it. If they don't say that, it throws me off because I'm waiting for the no, I'm not interested. Because when they tell me that, I had somebody that saw your car in the service department want to buy it. Who saw the car was Bootsy, my general manager, was Johnny, my used car manager. They don't need to know it's my used car manager or GM, but I got a name associated with who saw it because I know it's factual that Bootsy or my used car manager is always wanting good inventory. And if I can buy a car right, I'll get a bird dog fee. If I'm a good salesman, they'll pay me $100. They're going to pay someone else. That's what I would request if I'm a sales guy, right? I mean, buy fee is a buy fee from a buyer. If I get you the car, it comes in right, whatever the case may be. So it's worth your time. But I would say when they say, no, I'm not interested, then I say, well, you know what, Taurus, it's funny. I thought about that. Had you been interested, you probably would have picked up the phone and called me, right? So my question to you is this. If I could get the gentleman who saw the car to pay you more than what the car was worth, would that interest you at all? They're going to say yes or no. No, I'm good. Or I may get, well, how much more are you going to pay me? How much? Okay, when I get that, what do I got? I got a door open. That's a great question, man. And before I even tell you how much, I'm confident he's going to give you a boatload. Here's the reason why. Sorrentos are hard to get right now. We've been looking for them for over 2 months. John's going to be here tomorrow about 2 o'clock. He's also going to be here till about 4 o'clock and appraising another car at 6 o'clock. I'm giving three different time frames on purpose. He's going to be here 2, he's going to be here 4, and actually he's going to be here at 6. The reality is he's probably going to be there most of the day, right? But I'm trying to pin a guy down to options. So my question is, can you swing back by here? Would 2, 4, 6 be best for you? Tell you exactly how much we'll write a check for it. And if we got to put this a little bit extra, I'm confident, especially with you being here coming back, they'll do it for you. What time can you be here? You set your appointment. If he says, no, had you been interested, you'd have called me, thought about that. I just want to ask you if I could pay you more than what the car was worth, would that interest you? No, I'm not interested. No problem. Okay. Well, we appreciate your business down here at the shop. Can I ask you one last question? I'm going one more time. Now, this requires you to either do 2 things. A, get off the phone with them, and all of this is written down in this book. Okay? But this requires, because what I'm about to ask him is, would you have a problem? I know I said if I give you more than what the car was worth, but I just want to clarify. Are you sure you wouldn't take $18,000 to $25,000 for this thing? Or $22,000 to $25,000 for this thing? There's a reason why I want to put a number out there. Now I want to get to the nitty gritty, and then I'm going to lay off the gas because I've asked 3 times. Because remember, a service RO is not a prospect. They're a customer. They've already done some business. You can't piss them off. Like you gotta be smooth. You can't right? You gotta end the call right. But I am going to ask 2 or 3 times because sometimes they're not hearing. Right? They just need to hear the right thing to go, oh shit, how much? Right? Well, the economy's been crazy. New car supply is super low. Used cars are through the roof. And to be quite honest with you, our internet, we can't even keep up. Prices go up, they go down. They go up, they go down. Literally, People get mad at us because prices were lower yesterday. Now they're $1,000 higher. That's true. That's correct, because the market's changing. Changes daily. It's like stocks. It's the craziest thing in the world. So my question to you is, if I give you 20 to 25 grand, are you confident that wouldn't drive any interest whatsoever? And once again, they're going to say, well, you gave me 25 grand. I'd sell it to you tomorrow. Right? Or they may say, no, honestly, there's no interest. Fantastic. Well, listen, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me ask. I know John was very, very willing and excited when he saw it yesterday, but we're excited that you're one of our customers. And if you need anything in the future and I can help you in any way in our service drive, please don't hesitate to ask for me. Even though I work in sales, I'll help you in any way I can. My name is Louie. Fair enough? Have a great day. Click, get off the phone, make sure it's smooth. Does that make sense? So, but that's all in the book. So we're going to call. And when we call, we're going to say, hey, listen, we're going to ask a few questions in the book. Clean Carfax, still servicing it, still maintaining it. Hey, thank you for listening. I didn't mean to ask you all these questions. Thank you for listening. The point is, the reason why I'm doing that is because John saw your car in the service department yesterday. He wanted me to call you, see if he could write you a check for it, if he can buy the car from you. Here comes the not interested. That's exactly what they say every time. I'm not interested. They don't say anything else. I'm telling you. They say I'm not interested. It's funny you say that, because had you been interested, you probably would have picked up the phone and called us. I didn't even think about that. But let me ask you this. If I could create interest and pay you more money than what the car was worth, do you think that would spur any kind of interest? How much? Not really. It's only two ways they're going. Y'all with me? All right. Any questions on that script? Any questions on that scenario? If you're going back to the service department talking about upgrade, keep the same payment, all this kind of stuff, it's too much of the same old, you can't get traction. When you hit people from left field and go, look, I'm not really looking to sell you anything, I'm looking to buy something, we need the inventory, can I buy your car? And they're open-minded. And by the way, if you sell me your car, what in the world would you be driving? If I take your car, do you have a second form of transportation, or would you need something else? Well, I'm gonna need something else. Okay, now you're into a car deal. Make sense? Cash down is massively important. Not only in deal structure, but getting deals approved, getting a rate concession. Hopefully you guys understand that, and a customer's going to tell you they don't want to put any money down, right? They don't want to put any money down, or they can't put any money down, or they don't have any money to put down. But I think it's important for you to.
Hey, Louie, let's tell them why they say that. Because I've done behinds have been telling them you can do anything with no money down.
Right.
for years.
Yeah. Well, when you market and advertise no money down or $99 down, they're going to believe it. They want to do it. But when you get to the nuts and bolts of everything, look, cash is king. It doesn't matter if it's real estate, if it's car, it doesn't matter what it is. A good credit customer that qualifies for 6.9 with enough money down can get 5.9. You know what I'm saying? You get a concession. Terrible customer that can't get approved with $5,000 down, get approved. Right? It's that big of a swing, right? So it's important. We gotta look for those things. So I want you to write some of those things down that are on the board here for cash down. And as you write them down, I'm going to explain to you just some negotiating tips. I went over one, so just hear me, because I already covered this. I just want you to hear me. But the cash down is important. The three ways you're going to communicate with a customer when you're closing deals. It's a tip. These are just tips before we get into a close. Is kinesthetic, audible, and visual. You guys should always, you guys say Sharpie. Say Sharpie. Y'all need a Sharpie in your hand at all times. Sharpie is your weapon. Sharpie is your sword. You need to have your Sharpie, and you need to make sure that you have a piece of paper at all times, because you've got to justify the deal. You justify the deal not only with words. People believe more what they see than what they hear. Wouldn't you agree? Show me. Let me see it. Somebody analytical. Somebody wants to see it, right? And on a worksheet, the math will always show itself out. The math will always show itself out. Getting cash down, those are the benefits of having that. I'm going to move on to the next, because I want to make sure this is important. So this is something that I learned. This is funny. I learned this actually with my event company, right? Because I'm a sales efficient, market share. Like if I'm running a car store, man, I'm going for all the volume. All the volume. Well, you can't put volume in the bank. That's the problem. You can't deposit 200 cars in the bank. You deposit the gross profit, right? So the event game showed me how I can go into any store in the country and continue to make margin, make gross profit with the same customers they have every single day. And what's the difference? It's how you present the deal. It's how you start the deal. It's how you look at the deal. It's how you believe about the deal, right? Again, so important. So this is, if you're at a store, I'm asking you to tell your sales manager before you present any pencil, okay, I need you to make sure that you go over a short-term equity-based scenario for the customer. So what that means is, if I was in a typical scenario, this is me at an event. This is what I do. Right? That's called the old Foursquare. You guys have seen that? You've heard of that? Seen that? You don't do that in your stores nowadays. You guys got, you got your pencil where you got all your numbers here, right? And then you got your little grid, right, of your down payments and your monthly payments. No problem. Not a problem. Still can do the same thing. Remember, what I'm trying to do here is I may show $10,000 down. I don't know. I may show $3,000 off, let's just say 10 grand for the trade, $597 to $639. Just throwing these out there. What I do before I even present this to any customer, okay, and if I'm you, especially I would take my pencil 24, 36, 42 months. Period. I wouldn't put 72, 75, 84, and every desk manager in the country, when it comes to putting those grids together, they jump right to 84 months, right out of the gate. And not only do they give you 84 months, they give you $900 a month at 84 months. Where are you going with that? Where are you going with that, right? A customer with a half brain goes 84 months times 960, my gosh, that's $83,000. Hold on a second. The car's 42 grand. You follow what I'm saying? Again, you have to be with your sword. It's math. You got to make it make sense. So it's got to make sense. So here's what we do. Every single worksheet you go out there, short term. I have this. Is this mine, Jacoby? Mm-hmm. So here's my pencil. I walk out with the customer. There's my pencil, and it's folded. Before I even show them the figure, I got to prep them and explain to them what I'm about to show them. Okay? Now, prior to me actually doing the deal, writing the deal up, have already set the stage that we can agree to disagree. It's called Teflon to ceiling. I missed that with you guys. But that's what I would do before I even got there. But I'll sit down and I'll say, okay, Mr. Bootsy, here's what we got. I'm so excited about the deal we're going to make to you today. I do want you to know it's our store stated policy. What is it again? Say it with me out loud. Our store's what? Everything's our store stated policy. Okay? That we put our best foot forward when it comes to the figures and numbers to make sure they're not only agreeable, but financially they make sense for you and the bank as well as the dealership. Fair enough? So here's what that means. We like to look at a situation where we get the most attractive rates and terms with 20 to 30% down. So when I go through the figures with you, we got 20, 35% down on the deal. And we like shorter term because with shorter term, you get equity faster, you pay less finance charges over the course of the deal, right? And really the only difference is your payment's a little bit higher. But nonetheless, we can adjust all of that. So in light of that, I think we got you a great deal. Let me show you what I got. So now I present the numbers. What did I just do? You're getting ready to see some big down payment. You're going to see the payment's going to be up too. And it's going to be, I'm setting the stage. It's only going 36 months. I also give myself the room and the door to open that if these numbers go down, if I've got 10 grand down, 597 to 639, how in the world can I justify that I'm going to be able to go down on price or down on payment if the only area I got, in other words, if a customer says, I don't have 10 grand down, I got 2. Okay, so now I'm short $8,000. I'm just thinking about math here. Y'all got to follow me. I'm short 8 grand out the soup. Right out the gate, I'm short 8 grand. And you want me to go down from there. Like I don't have the 8 and I got to go down. So in order for me to go down, the only way I can do this is I got to give you more than $10,000 for your trade, or I got to take 6 grand off or 7 grand off. You got nowhere to go. However, if you explain 36 months, now prior to going back to the desk, we formulated a commitment from the customer. I don't have the 10 grand, I got 2. So we're short 8. Before I even, again, this is my sword. This is my pen. Before I even get into negotiating anything, I got to explain to the customer, all right, let's make sure we're on the same page. I'm cool if you put no money down. Don't bother me a bit. I'm just, again, for the bank and for you in the finance terms, it makes a lot of sense to do so, but you don't have to put any money down. We're okay with that. But what is done to the deal, just so you know, is you got 2, we're short 8. We like to look at $20 per thousand, it's $160. So we're already at 600. Now we're at 160 because you don't have the cash. Now we're at 760 right out. So with that being said, I'm at $760 a month. I'll take the less cash down to the sales managers, but I don't know that I can overcome the 760. Now, what I've done is the zero down. I'll take the $8,000 difference. I'll take the $2,000 cash, but I didn't move anywhere here or here. Does that make sense?
Because when you move on the price of trade, you lost gross.
You're done.
You lose at the top. You win at the bottom.
You're done, right? So even at that point, I already know the response. Bro, I can't do 760. I can't do 760. Okay? So all I've talked about the down payment, right? So now I convert and say, okay, let me ask you this. You can't do the 760. You know we're at the 600. We're not near the 400 you're paying currently, right? So I mean, if I did it with the $2,000 down that you're talking about and kept them between 6 and 650, are we even in the range? I'll do 630. Okay, no problem. Let me see what I can do. Now, at this point, we get the commitment, we put it on writing. But now we're talking 630 with the $2,000 down. But remember, I'll take the cash, but now all of a sudden, I still got the term. If your pencil's on 36 months, we still go 72, we still go 84. You see what I'm saying? Now we can get there. We can get close. We can get close enough to get a second pass. Does that make sense? So the first thing that I would share with you in terms of closing car deals, before you present the number, prep them. Short-term equity position, we like to go there faster. Short-term equity position, we like to go there faster. And the reason why we like to go there is it benefits the banks. True or false?
Yes.
Banks like cash. They like shorter loans, right? It benefits the customer. True or false?
Yes.
If the customer can put $10,000 down, go talk to Dave Ramsey. Put $10,000, $20,000 down if you can. Pay cash if you can, right?
Another benefit, it allows them to trade the car when they get ready to, opposed to when the bank tells them
Correct.
they can't.
Faster trade cycle, right?
Which is better for us.
Right. So when it's all said and done, that's how we like to look at it. The great news for you, all of it's negotiable. If you don't have that kind of equity put in the deal, you want to go longer term to get the payments lower, we'll go through it. So let's look at it together right now. Now we present the number. Once we present the number, again, you're not going to have a worksheet like this. You're going to have your typical stuff. That's no problem. Just put, again, in the same thing, tell your manager, put $10,000 down, $12,000 down, and $17,000 down. Give me 36, 42, and 48. Give you somewhere to go. Does that make sense? Because look, quite honestly, if I could sell a car as a dealer principal and not have to go back and forth and just make $4,000 a car, something reasonable that makes sense, $3,500 a car or $2,000 a car, but sell a whole bunch of them, I'd do that in a heartbeat. All this trying to position and figure out and set up, but it makes it hard for everybody. It makes it hard for everybody. But at the end of the day, we want to maximize the deal. Is there any questions on how to present that? No? All right. So let's go to, all right. Okay, another thing I want to mention to you guys, tips. You guys still writing this down? Okay, 3 ways, we talked about that. Write down the Sharpies, your sword, prompts. You guys should never go out to a pencil. Listen to me. You should never, ever, ever go out to a pencil unless you have prompts with you. Fueleconomy.gov, Edmunds True Cost to Own, V-Auto reports, what's in the market area. You get something. People believe what they see. You've got enough data to support the pricing that we have. In most cases, the prices that are online you can't even get to. They're so cheap, right? But we bring nothing out to the table, which leads a customer to think there's more juice to the squeeze. There's more room, and there's no more room, right? So remember that. Also, work with the math, like we talked about here. The other thing I was going to tell you guys too is realize your customer. Write this down. There's an A, C, and an F. A, C, and an F. A is in apple, C is in cat, F is in Frank. Okay, the A customer is the grinder. And there's a reason why I'm pointing this out to you, because you really need to own this. The A customer is a grinder. The C customer is the majority. And the F customer is a lay down. That's the get me done. That's the challenge credit. If you can get me approved, I'll buy it. So here's what you need to understand. 20% of your customers are grinders. 30% of your customers are lay downs. So there's 50%. The other 50%, that's the majority, that's the ones you got to figure out, because there's some that's going to posture like they're a grinder, but they're really not. Some negotiate because they think they know how to, not because they want to. Does that make sense? So so my point is, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled thinking everybody, oh, this guy, this is all he's going to do. No, you got to have better words. So let's talk about some words. All right, wrote this one down because I wanted you guys to understand this one, because I didn't want to go through it too fast. Okay. All right, here's a scenario. Tell me if you heard it. Ford F-150. We got some Ford people, so I wrote this down. Ford F-150, 2023, $56,000 car, $3,000 discounts and rebates. We're at $53,000. Customer sitting in front of you says, "Hey man, I got the Dodge Ram down the street, $56,000. They're taking $6,000 off their deal. $50,000 after discounts and rebates. They're $3,000 better." My question to you is, give me the same price on the Chevy as the Dodge, and I'll buy your car. That's the objection. Somebody want to come roll that with me? Huh? So, Boosie, you tell me what you would say on this. Here we go. You ready? I'm your customer. Mm-hmm. You're selling me your Fords. Okay. And all I'm telling you is, look, Dodge says they'll take $6,000 off. They're at $50,000. You guys are at $53,000. I'm ready to roll. Just give me $50,000 for your Chevy, and I'm in.
I understand, and I appreciate that you have been shopping and everything. But first of all, I want to know, if we're comparing apples to apples, there may be a reason why my vehicle is more expensive. It has more equipment. Can you show me that vehicle and see what equipment's on that?
Well, the Dodge is different than the Ford, but it is limited. It is loaded. It's got the big screen. It's got everything I need. The four-wheel drive is the same as this one's. It's got the big screen. It's got everything we need.
Okay, I understand.
Look, if you do $50,000 on yours, I buy yours now.
I bet you would, and I appreciate that offer. I'm not going to be able to do that, unfortunately, but what I am selling, not only I'm selling this vehicle, I'm also selling service and parts and all that. We have great reviews, and I can point out, have visual aids, obviously, and everything.
Right.
And that may justify why mine may be a little bit more expensive. And to be totally honest with you, Mr. Louie, I think Ford's a better truck. You should buy my truck.
I like it. All right. Give him a hand, have a seat. Okay? I like it. Okay, so, and I like the very end was the best. I think Ford's a better truck. You need to buy my truck. That was the strongest thing. Okay? And what he did is basically what most salespeople do. What do they got to go to? There's a price difference. Sir, I'm worth something. You got to pay me something. I don't know what they're doing. Is it same equipment, same options, same this, same that? Here's another way to handle it. Okay? So customer says, "Hey, look, man, you matched my deal from the Ram on the Chevy, I'll buy you Chevy, no problem." Perfect. So if I understand you correctly, Mr. Customer, you're telling me if I get to $50,000, both vehicles cost the same, you take the Chevy. That's correct. So you like the Chevy more. In other words, I mean, if you had your choice, because obviously that's the one you'd rather buy. Gotcha. So let me ask you a question. So first thing I do is I want to match his match price, make the deal. Then I want to isolate same price, right truck, which we've just done. And now we're going to say, then I'm going to ask him the questions. Let me ask you a question. How long do you keep the vehicle? So we're going to sell you the Ford. How long do you normally keep the vehicle? Oh, I'm going to keep it 3, 4, 5 years, whatever the case may be. Perfect. Not a problem. You're going to finance it with us? Most people do. Yeah, I'm going to finance it with you. Fantastic. So we're clarifying. The reason why we're clarifying this is because I'm getting ready to set up a depreciation close. Okay? So then I tell him, I say, let me ask you a question. I'm about to show you something. When was the last salesperson you ever worked with in your car buying experience that not only told you what a great deal I'm giving you up front, but also going to tell you it's a great deal at the very end? Who's ever done that for you? They're going to say, nobody. Well, that's why I'm here. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to take care of you. That's the difference between me and our store and a lot of other people. Last thing is we're going to tell them, so listen, if Chevy or if Dodge is giving $6,000 off, what did that mean to the customers who just bought these trucks last year? Here's what I would say to them. Sir, let me ask you a question. Obviously, you don't like cheap things. You want the nicer things. Matter of fact, if the price was the same, you'd take my Ford, is what you said. So obviously, you like the Ford. You think it's a better quality truck. But my question to you is, companies like this that have all these, $6,000 big discounts, rebates, forget military and some other stuff. When you went down there, they may take it away from you because you don't qualify for it. Oh, no. I've been down there. They're ready to do the deal. Fine. Let me just ask you this. If they're taking $6,000 to $8,000 off their trucks today, What do you think that does to the value of the people that bought the same exact truck last year? Think it makes it go up? Or makes it go down? It makes it go down, doesn't it? And that's what you're missing. Although there's a difference of $3,000, you take your Dodge. Here's year one. That's a little depreciation. Year two, year three, year four, and here's your year to trade out. So now you've got your Ram truck that you bought at $50,000. Okay, typically at 3 years the car's worth half, 25 grand. Going out further, you're probably going to have somewhere around $17,000, $18,000 vehicle, right? So now you got your $53,000 Chevy. We don't have the same amount off, but I will give you, we're still going to have that same dip all the way across the board, all the way to the point of trade. Once again, I mean, you're talking, now all of a sudden our truck's going to be worth $24,000, okay? So you're talking, you've got basically a $5,000, $6,000 difference. You're focused on the $3,000 that I understand you're saving today, right? But at the same time, when you look at the end of the life cycle, there's no one going to tell you that you're going to lose $5,000 at the end when you trade this thing. You follow what I'm saying? So listen, you know you like the Chevy better than, I mean, you know you like the Ford better than you like the Ram, and I want to earn your business, and it's the one you want, let's do business. The point being is, again, nobody, when you tell a customer, hey listen, when was the last time you dealt with a salesperson, they're not only going to tell you you're getting a great deal today, but they're going to show you at the very end you're getting a great deal. No salesman in the country does that. I'm getting ready to show that to you, right? And then all you're doing is just breaking down money and time. That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing. But again, most people don't go through any explanation. They say, hey, I'm worth more. My truck's better. Is it the same exact truck, same exact equipment? None of those things are right or wrong, right? They're not bad. But again, in this market, you want to make sure you're saying things that are a little more clear for the customer. All right, let's go on to another. All right, let's see here. Assume a zero balance close. Have you guys ever heard that one? Assume a zero balance. See if I can explain this one to you. You need help from the sales manager to get this one done. And we ask too many questions sometimes to figure out the deal structure. But if you got a situation, you want to assume the customer's balance is zero. Track with me here. It's just another way of approaching the deal. You got I'm just using round numbers, $20,000 for ours. We got $10,000 for theirs. Real simple math here. This is the difference. Everybody with me? Real simple, right? We got sales tax, right, at 7%, $700, $1,000 doc fee. And you got, I don't know, let's just say $500 in fees, whatever nonsense that is, right? So 11, so it's 12, what? 12.2? Okay. All right. So right here would be payoff, right? And we'll say they owe 16, let's say they owe 16 grand. All right. So we're going to assume a zero balance on the payoff. Currently, right now, they're paying $425 a month. Want to lower the payments, keep the same, somewhere in that range. Everybody follow this math. Everybody with me? Okay. Got to work with the sales manager on this. We're going to assume a zero balance. He's going to give you the worksheet, payments, all the numbers down the side. Just put zero for a balance. All right. We're going to ask him for the title here in a second. What you want to do with this close is you want to put the negative equity, the onus back on him. Because right now in car deals, what we do is we roll in the negative equity, we start chasing it. Dropping gross, dropping gross. I can't get there. He's $8,000 upside down. Keep drop gross, drop gross. I got to get in line with the bank. We'll get money down for him. He won't have no money down. See what happens? This is what we do in every car deal. We assume a zero balance in the deal. So you have 12.2. Let's say that's let's say 240. I'm gonna be close to the math. Let's just say it's 240. And I'm just going to use this. Okay, so this is what's going to blow their mind. Okay, come back out to the customer. You read my chicken scratch and I'll explain it to you. Come back to the customer and say, hey, I got great news. I got $20,000 for ours, $10,000 for yours. Our difference is 10 grand. 7% sales tax, doc fee of $1,000, and our tag and title fee is $500. We're at $12,200. Okay, all I need is a title to your trade, your driver's license. We'll do the paperwork. What that's going to do is that's going to take your current payment from $425 to $240 a month. Or you can do $420, which is a little less than what you're paying now, and I'll cut you back a check for $5,000. How would you like to do it? And they're going to look at you like, what are you talking about? Well, remember, you're giving them a $10,000 credit, right? There's no payoff on it, so it's 10 grand cash. So if a customer says, I want 5 grand back, no problem, 20 per thousand, it's another $100, so it's going to go to 340. I said 440, right? You tracking that math? So, or, you know what? Don't worry about cash back and drop your payments. You went from 425 to 225. All I need from you is your title, your driver's license, insurance card, just need your approval. And that's when they say, well, I don't have my title. Well, who's got your title? ViStar's got it. Bank of America's got it. Oh, all right. What does it take to get that? What do we got to do to get that back? Well, I owe them $18,483. How much? Let's say $18,500. I owe them $18,500. No problem. $18,500? Okay. $18,500. Factor back in $18,500 in the payoff, right? That's $21,700. It's our bottom line, right? And so basically $18,500 at $20 per thousand is what? Another $160, $180. So we went from 240 to 180, 432, is that my math?
No, the math's wrong.
Yeah.
It's 32.
32. Yeah.
7.
My bad. Yeah, so you got 18, so it's 360. Forgive me. There it is. All right, 06. Okay. That's just okay, no problem. Put the payoff back in, no money down, payment $600 a month. If you go out there with a regular pencil, what does your regular pencil look like? Just like this, with a new payment of $600 a month of a guy trying to spend $425 or drop his payment. You tracking? This is what it normally looks like. Here's all the numbers. Payment's $200 or $300 higher than he wants to be every single time. All the numbers are in there, and now we're fighting. You start out, come out the gate like this, assume a zero balance. He's aware that's his issue. He knows at this point, oh man, that's your negative equity. Well, you're not giving me nothing for mine. You're putting a whole $18,500 back in there, sir. We gave you $10,000 credit. Took our $20,000 card to a $10,000 price. If you owed nothing, you're at 12 grand. Does that make sense?
That's wrong. I like that.
Yeah. So it's how you position, but you got to get with your sales manager. It's not that hard. And that also goes back to the sales team of not asking so many qualifying judgmental questions up front. If you just assume someone's got their title, now you may walk out there and the guy say, hey, your title? Here it is. There's my driver's license. Here's my insurance card. Damn. That's all right.
That's a good thing too.
Yeah, that's a good thing too. Right? But what this allows you to do is say, look, here's the bottom line. You know, all I need is your title, and not only can I reduce your payment by a couple $100, I can cut you back money. Right? That immediately makes people like, ooh, I like that. Hold on, let me look at this math. How'd you get there? Let's talk about the perfect close. Let me give you some ninth inning closes, fourth quarter closes. This is an actual close you can use. Obviously, we're still trying to make money. But I'm going to give you what's called the perfect close. And this is basically when you're trying to get somebody to make a commitment. Guy's leaving, doesn't want to buy a car. You've done everything. You're everything out in the gross, everything. Man, you know, the big manager wants to go out there. I'm making a car deal somehow, some way. So you go out to the customer and you say, and if you're a sales guy, you still can do this. And you should do this. It doesn't matter if you're selling 2 years or 2 months or whatever the case may be. The statement is, you know, Miss Johnson, I've been selling cars long enough. That's the key. Because you don't want to lie to somebody. I've been selling cars long enough. 2 months may be long enough. You've seen enough scenarios, right? 2 years may be long enough. So that's, you don't say I've been selling, for the 30 years I've been doing this, and you've been selling cars 3 months. That's a lie. That's not true, right? But for the time I've been selling cars, I've learned long enough to see that when a deal crosses a customer's face and you snap your fingers and it's perfect, they buy a car. That's what I've seen. So my question to you is, something's not perfect. What's not perfect? And to be quiet. And whatever hasn't flushed out will typically come out right then. Well, man, my wife's she'll kill me if I bought this thing without her. Or, honestly, I can't do 500. 420 was my max. Now you can work your way back into another car deal. Does that make sense? It's called the perfect close. You guys have your recorders on, right? Okay, let's go another one real quick. I'll let you go. Same thing with make a copy close. You ever heard that one? Make a copy close. Got numbers, everything. God loves the car, loves everything. Everything's good. And all of a sudden he says, man, I'll tell you what. All I need is a copy. Just make me a copy. I'll call you back. All right? You looked at a car, got everything done. He just needs a copy. You're like, dang, right? Okay. So, okay, no problem, sir. So again, you got to roll this out like you're the best actor. Get up, grab the paper. You say, you go to walk, I'm going to grab you a copy. You go by one step and you go, you know what? Mr. Johnson, can I ask you a quick question? I sit back down. I said, I just got to think to myself, if I was making you a copy, something must not be right. Because if everything was right, you'd be buying the car, not need a copy. My question to you is, what's not right about this deal? We can complete it this evening. What do we got to do to put this deal together? See what I did? So it's called to make a copy close. You acknowledge, you step out, step right back in. Step out, step right back in. All right, let's go about I want to think about it. I'm just trying to hit some quick ones here that can help you out. Somebody said I want to think about it. What do they really mean when they say they want to think about it?
They're trying to leave.
They're trying to leave, but they.
What exactly do you want to think about? The
Yeah.
down payment or the payment?
Right. You think about the car, you think about the money, you think about the wife, think about, right? So the first thing we got to do when someone says I want to think about it is we got to really try to flush out what it is. So one of the things that's pretty easy is I suggest something for the customer. Most times, depending on the scenario, I may suggest, you got to think about it. I can appreciate that. In fact, most of my customers won't take time to think about it. But what they tell me oftentimes when I dig deeper and ask them, what they're really thinking about or looking for, they're looking for like the best possible scenario for them and their family on the next car. Isn't that kind of what you're saying? They're going to say yes. Okay, great. So let me ask you a question. Say you lost your wallet. You lost your wallet or your keys. Once you find your wallet or your keys, would you keep looking for them? No, you wouldn't, because you found exactly what you were looking for. So my question is, we've got the car. It's exactly what you said you wanted. We sat down in the needs assessment. We discussed all of the terms and factors, right? It's exact color, everything you want. Place of business is obviously someone you want to do business with, and the price is right. Let's wrap up the deal. Let's write the deal up. Let's finish the deal. You follow what I'm saying? Just illustrate. So in other words, you stop looking when you find what you want. There's got to be something that you don't want anymore that we don't have. There's something that you don't see that we don't have, and you gotta flush that out. You need to flush that out. So. All right, man, we got to get out of this room. In the spirit of helping you guys, I'm going to pass this around. Start with Jacoby. When Jacoby signs it, we'll pass it around. I want to offer you 30 days. 30 days. I'm giving to you guys. I'm going to get on a Zoom call with you in 30 days. But it's all going to be based on your commitment, okay? I just want to know what you're going to implement in the next 30 days. In fact, I'll do it January 30th, right? the beginning of February, all right? Get you through the rest of this month as you're working or whatever, but I need you to take something you learned. I need memorization, I need closes, I need whatever the case, and I need quantifiable. And more importantly, I need you to say, look, December, I sold 17. The month of January, I put this. Man, I got 28 cars out. I sold 32 cars. That's what I want. And I want to see how your month went, and I want to see what the commitments you made and what you did. Is that fair enough? So you put your information on there, and I will personally take time, hour with you guys, one apiece, 45 minutes, whatever you need, and we're going to go back through whatever the commitment is. But once I get your email, I can find out exactly what you're going to commit to, and I'll have it lined up for you. Is that cool? All right. That's it. Let's rock and roll, man. Let's go to the next level. You got a lot of stuff to work with.